Oh, look at Abe's face. Fucking internet gaming, bro. I just crushed it in Call of Duty, bro.
I just crushed a
Turn
12
that TV on right there with that remote.
a 12 kill streak, bro.
All right, ready to do this? Oh my!
Oh wow.
What keeps going off?
That's my phone, and that's the good, and the bad, and the ugly. And if you don't like that, then you're not a Texan anymore at all.
Hey, so we're officially live, guys.
Are we?
We're officially live on the internet. Wait, pardon me. We're officially live on our 100th episode. So the notifications are going out to the world as we speak. And we made it 100 episodes. We have Cameron. There's lots going on, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yo, what's up? What's up, Cam? How y'all doing?
Oh my God.
Welcome to
Whoa.
Stonewater Creek, y'all.
Whoa, this is going to be aggressive tonight. So, Cameron,
What?
we had, in typical Stormwater Creek fashion, had the 11th hour struggle as nothing worked 10 minutes before, but in typical Storm, yeah, it wasn't our fault this time, which is great, you know. Cameron, how have you been?
Good, guys. Just crazy. Work's been out of control. Bear season just ended, so put some miles on a few weeks there, and I killed a bear second weekend of the season, and then had buddies from Colorado and Utah come up and put them both on bears, and we had 3 misses. We had in
Wow.
2 weeks we had 10 bears and 3 misses.
Holy crap.
Like took shots and missed?
Yes, that's correct.
Is that a fault of the hunter, or were they shots that were like, all right, I can probably make this?
One was a questionable shot. He shouldn't have ever shot. He was coming around the corner too quick. Bear ran out in front of him. He shot. And the other one was probably on a 7-foot color phase bear
Nice.
that I knew was in there from elk season, and he was right where I thought he was. He was actually my boss, so he pulled. I thought he knew not to shoot through bushes, and there was like some alder bushes, and he shoot right through the bushes. And I said, "Did you shoot through the bushes?" And he says, "Yeah." Bullets will go through that, right?
Yeah, bullets.
No. I'm burying you.
I'm burying you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a once in a lifetime Montana bear. So I was a little pissed he missed.
Yeah. Sure.
I can't take the screw off because there's water all in here.
The
Someone left a bag of ice in here for a few days.
for since yesterday, pre-chill. No, I'm good. Pre-chill. You got to pre-chill the cooler, buddy. Don't look at me like
You
that.
don't want that beer?
Oh, I've got one right here.
I don't see it. Drink it.
Okay.
Anywho.
Whoa. Jared's trying to challenge me.
Yeah.
You're the one all about challenges. So.
Yeah, Mr. Challenge Queen over
Challenge
here.
queen. Okay.
One decoy.
So yeah,
Walk it only.
this is the new podcast studio.
Yeah, this is Cameron's first time to see the new spot.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. What do you think, buddy?
It looks great. Whose house is it at?
Is
Okay, all right.
All of ours.
New room.
we've
That's
actually
pretty
all left our wives and girlfriends, and we now live here together as one big bachelor group. you
I
know?
wouldn't doubt.
Thank God.
Station.
Yeah, this is Bachelor Station, so I'm just kidding. That's not what happened.
No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Tracy.
I love you, Tracy.
I
I love your mother.
love your mother.
I love your mother. How was your? So backing up, so you shot a really nice bear this year, which we talked about.
Yeah.
Did you shoot an elk this year?
That's sore subject.
Oh, God.
Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
okay.
I got
well,
to talk about it.
We're gonna open up old wounds.
let's open this wound, buddy.
Yeah, let's start this process.
No, tag soup on the elk this year. Chased them hard, came close. I traded some side work for an elk hunt on this guy's ranch. And I got 50 yards from a 380-inch bull.
Ooh.
and blew it. Just rookie mistake. We were dogging him. I found him. So, do you want the full story?
Yes.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Of course we do.
So it's central Montana. I get this hunt. Guy sends me the pin. There's nobody out there. He's just got cattle on the place. So it's 3,000 acres, and it's a 7-mile long ridge that starts up high and just runs down the middle of his property. And there's little fingers that come off this ridge. And at the bottom of those fingers is another fence line and then another ranch. It's private, but that's all flat. So I'd never been out there before, looked at it on a map, but everything looks different. So I get there, it's dark. We had our first big winter storm roll in. So it's 30-mile-an-hour winds. It went from 60 degrees to 30 in a couple hours. I show up, it's snowing and raining. It was a shit show. So wake up the next morning, get up, it's foggy, it's calm, everything's perfect. So I'm walking down the ridge. I found one small raghorn bull, put a stalk on him. I wasn't too serious about shooting him, knowing that this bull was on the property.
A dog or an elk call?
I was gonna say, was that a dog or a perfectly timed elk call? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a dog. And so put a stalk on him. I got 40, 50 yards from him. That was pretty cool. Long story short, walked the whole property line. I ended up doing 20 miles that day. I found the big bull at mile 15. So I was, walking half a mile and bugling, walk half a mile, bugle, just kind of hitting different spots like that. So I found him. He was with 30 cows on the other side of the property line, and I got 150 yards from him. So I sat there and watched him for 2 hours. He was raking trees and bugling at me and just losing his mind. Wind switched, hits the back of my neck, and I hightail it out. I basically ran 2 miles back up this ridge so they couldn't smell me. They never winded me. There was another front rolling in that night. It was going to get colder and it's supposed to rain all day the next day. Well, on the other side of that fence where they were at, there's no cover or anything. So I knew they were going to come back on our side of the fence. And my thought was they would just bed in that same draw that I found them in. So went back to camp, drove back into town, which is, I don't know, probably 2.5 hours, to pick up my buddy because my thought was that I needed his help to kill this bull. I knew it was an old, mature bull, and I just wanted a little more experience. He's not super experienced, but he can bugle at least. So I figured he could get behind me and I could, cut the distance or whatever. So we end up back at camp at 2 a.m, sleep for a couple hours, wake back up, go 15 miles back down this ridge to the exact spot where they were at, but we were up a little higher because I wanted to see them and look down on them. So sun starts coming up. It's drizzling rain. Elk are nowhere to be found. So we're kind of racking our brains going, what's the deal? So we hiked back down the property line, got on the fence line, and walked back up, and basically just covering all the ground we could legally hunt. So we came probably another 2 miles back up the property line from where we had set up for the sun coming up, and we heard him bugle. So the game plan was to get within 100 yards, just stay silent until we get within 100 yards, hit him with the bugle, and he won't have a choice other than to, come handle the threat, I guess. So that's what we did. And it was basically just a cat and mouse thing. We'd get close, hit him with the bugle, he'd gather up his cows and push them away. And we did this for 5 miles. We finally got to a point on the side of this ridge. So it's hard to explain, but it was like we were in a lake bottom that had a bunch of islands scattered throughout, and then there was big mountains on either side. Okay. So we were down in that bottom, up and down these little islands. It was like a chess match. And so there were some cows. He went up the big ridge, and there were some cows left on one of those islands. So he came back for those cows, which is when I got close to him, and I didn't know what he was doing. He was 50 yards away in the bushes. I could see his silhouette, and I could see his antlers, moving. But all he cared about was getting those cows and coming, getting them out of there. He had zero interest in fighting. He had zero interest in handling me. That's where I screwed up, because I should have recognized his age. I should have recognized his maturity. That bull's been hunted before, because there's a guy that outfits on that property, and they couldn't find the bull. They haven't found that bull all summer, but we knew he was there from past years. So he's been hunted before. Like, he knew what the deal was. So I should have just moved in close and just, like, when he came back to those cows, I should have just mewed at him. I literally just needed him to step out of the bushes and he'd be dead.
Were you bow hunting?
I was drawn up and everything on him.
Do you hear us?
Huh?
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. I know we had before this started. We had a couple of audio problems.
Can
So
you hear
were,
us?
You were bow hunting. Correct?
Say it again.
You were bow hunting.
He
not
dropped his
rifle hunting?
phone.
You were bow hunting.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I assumed
Yep.
you were. Saying 50
Yeah.
yards, and I was like, well, 50 yards of the rifle, you punch a big old hole in something.
Yeah.
Right. Well, his whole body was in the bushes, though.
No,
That was the problem.
yeah.
Like, if I'd have had him I could have hit him at, I felt comfortable at 60, 65. So 50 was doable.
Wow, 50 or 60. That's not bad.
Cam Haynes over here. Look at
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Go run an ultra marathon.
Do you shoot like a 700-pound compound
Do you have
bow?
sleeves on any of your shirts?
Yeah.
Not a one. Oh,
We're making fun of Cameron Haynes because he's a giant douche.
Oh, we're going public with that knowledge, huh? It's okay.
That's my opinion. That does not reflect the opinions of Stormwater Creek as a whole.
Do you
This
think
is
that
an individual.
Cameron Haynes is to male influencers
Good
as
words.
females are to huntresses?
oh, we're going there.
So is Cameron Haynes a huntress? That's probably the better
The
way. to
male
ask that.
version of a huntress.
Did no one notice that I put that hashtag on one of our posts recently?
Huntress?
Yeah, I did. It was really good. I've noticed that. So
Yes.
Cameron Haynes
Dude,
is
at this point, to a degree, I realize he's very
does a lot for the sport.
motivational.
Yeah,
a lot
he
of
does.
people support him.
Yeah.
I get that. It's not my deal.
Yeah, I get it.
This is all my opinion.
I like to eat cheese fries.
We can 100% disagree on this. Anyone out there, I don't care. That's fine. He doesn't do anything for me. He always hunts, like, he doesn't ever mention where they're at because of private land. We have info from people that says, when he stages camping, it's like, can we get this shot done so we can go back to the cabin?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true.
I'm just
never-
gonna leave that right there.
Where's his backpack?
Yeah, exactly. Where's his backpack?
Where's his backpack?
Because
I
rule
can't.
one is
I
don't
can't
drop
hear
your
him in my
backpack.
headphones at all.
Who?
Ostone.
Where?
That's probably good.
Can you hear me? You can hear me, right, Cameron?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wiseman?
Can you hear?
Not Haynes.
Yeah. We're good.
I can't. He's
That's
not in my
who's in there.
headphones at all. Everyone else is,
What?
but he ain't.
Questioning this all of a sudden.
You what?
Why are we questioning this all of a sudden?
Because Jared said he couldn't hear me. I don't know.
Because it's Stormwater Creek, man. And
Jared,
that's
what are
we do
what are
here.
comments saying?
Um,
Any questions for Cameron Wiseman, not Cameron Haynes?
let's see. Surprised you guys made it to 100 episodes with Abe's illiteracy and enabled me to talk.
That's Ninja.
That's Ninja.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's no doubt that's
Yes.
Ninja.
Jesse says Abe might be onto something about a male huntress.
Which I'm jealous because I want to be.
You
So
can
do
be.
I.
Dude, all you gotta do is pull your shirt up
We
and
talked
pull
we
it
talked
out.
about this.
You tuck it under,
Yes,
and then
we did.
I
I
was
can-
I
I
was
can-
actually gonna start wearing Speedo and all of our
Yeah.
get you some
photos.
deep cut V-necks, dude.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just do this number
There
right
you
here,
go.
like,
Yeah.
Show make sure the camera
Show
can
the-
see this.
Show the world.
Abe
shoot like
Bowman
this,
is a
like,
huntress
I'm
now.
here to be a huntress, y'all.
Ooh.
I like to be a hunter, not a huntress. Hunteress.
Hey man, we're all hunters, brother.
Yeah, we're all in
Hey,
together.
the way y'all handled those pigs, I would consider you huntresses.
We don't want to
Oh,
talk about
shit.
it. We don't want to talk about it. That's
I was not.
how
explaining-
dare you?
Shots fired.
How dare you?
You wouldn't believe the
Well,
kind
it's
of
been nice
trash-
having you on, Cam. We'll talk to you next time.
Yeah.
Hey, I think our connection spotty. Why don't we
Yeah,
talk this
well,
later?
I can't hear you anymore. What's happening?
Well, talk to you later.
I will let Austin or Abe tell the story.
All right, so here's the deal. I mean, we posted.
Can
a
I
bunch-
tell the story from the things?
Yes, you tell the story.
Yeah,
You're the
from your
guest.
perspective.
Here's my perspective. You've been like given every secret for this piece of property on how to kill a pig, and you can't kill one, you can't trap one.
I've killed
So
one.
you
That's not
find
true.
I've killed a pig. We've killed 2 pigs.
Yeah.
did you?
Yeah.
Hey, let him
Okay.
speak.
Calmer than you, dude.
You okay, Cameron? You finish what you're gonna say, and then I'll rebut.
Yeah.
But
Stormwater
So-
Creek bikini bowfish trip.
You finally get a
Yes,
couple of
Austin.
pigs,
Yes.
and pictures are flying around all over the place. Everybody's excited. You finally trap some pigs. I go do my thing this weekend. Out of cell service. Get a text from my dad saying that the pigs broke the hog panel. A screenshot of that text that says, "These guys."
Yeah.
These guys.
These guys.
So funny.
Okay, so it didn't break the hog panel. It's a squeeze trap, right? So it overlaps, right? They push through, they shouldn't push back out. We're new to this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna chalk this up as an honest mistake because it overlapped.
Learning curve.
And Abe and I both leaned all of ourselves into this thing, and it was no problem. It wasn't a construction issue. It was a bracing issue.
Yeah.
The hog panel's fine. So it squeezed in like this. This was a scraper.
It's fucking
So they
yeah.
came in this way, they squeezed it in, popped open, and shut, right? About here is a post. This was too long.
Yeah.
They were able to put a giant bend in this hog
It was
panel
almost 90
and-
degree.
and
Yeah, they
fold-
pushed that thing all the way
They folded
out.
a hog panel into 90 degrees.
Yeah.
So they did some work. We're gonna just put 2 more T-posts in and be fine. We'll get them reattracted.
They folded what?
Cam, to make it
a
worse,
12-foot hog panel. They folded 2.5 feet of a hog panel too. So it wasn't
And
like it's
yeah,
halfway.
they didn't
We're
take-
talking about like a
There's
little.
no leverage. They
Yeah.
just beat the shit out
Yeah.
of it.
That's exactly what happened.
So, y'all remember
I mean-
the trap I had out there, the little the door.
We hadn't put the guillotine door in yet. Next
But
week.
you remember it, right? The one.
No, I didn't know. You're kind of cutting out. I can't hear you.
yeah,
Hear
move the
me now.
computer a little bit.
Yeah, that's better.
Better?
Put
Yeah.
the phone up to your mouth. You're
Is it
talking-
picking up through the phone? Or is
Yes,
it picking
yes.
up through the computer?
That's the whole
phone.
point of the phone.
You're such a meanie person.
God.
You're so spicy today.
you're getting
Go ahead.
amped.
Cameron, don't you miss this?
On his phone.
Baker, yes, please make those pictures happen. Please.
No, so I had pigs break the welds on that trap before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you get it. It wasn't our fault.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, how dare you?
Okay, we'll take 50%, 30% of the blame. 30%.
No, we built
Yes. No,
a
we'll take-
stout.
We'll take 30%. But they
20
just beat it, man. So we're gonna fix it. It's open. It's wired open right now. It's soaking.
We got some sugar.
We can put some sugar, some Kool-Aid. We're throwing corn. Like it's fine. it'll work out. I mean, yeah, we probably look like idiots to your dad, and that's, I mean, it's not far from the truth.
He
but-
should be accustomed to that at
Yeah,
this point of this
exactly.
whole thing.
Yeah.
He's met us.
Yeah, he knows.
I just think it's hilarious that he texted me the screenshot with just like, what is even going on?
He was so excited. I felt so bad.
I did
I
too.
was
He was
so-
like, yeah,
he was-
take a video of you
Oh,
put
yeah.
a bullet between their
Yeah.
eyes. I was
Like-
like, and all we took, I was like, I took my 9mm with our RMR on it. It's like, we were just gonna like, ping, ping, done.
Yeah, I came straight from work. All I had was my gun. My pistol
Yeah.
was in the truck. It's like, cool, this will work.
It's
So does-
okay. But before the end of this summer, we're gonna
Yeah.
renew your father's faith in us.
Yeah, no
hopefully.
doubt.
And
Hopefully.
also, we got
So
to
just so y'all know, it's me, my dad, my brother talking trash on y'all.
Yeah,
fine.
that's fine.
That's fine.
I accept that.
We have a side by side now, so getting
Yeah.
work done out there is much easier.
Yeah.
Corner feeder's back up and running. We had some issues with that one. Woods feeder's busted. Today it looks like I
Smells
secured.
wonderful.
It looks like
I got
se-
spots on my hat. They won't come out now. They're stains.
It looks like I secured 3 stand and fill bases that we're going to put 55-gallon drums on. So in the next month, we should have 3 stand and fill feeders out there, like 400, 600 pounders. So this problem will be alleviated very quickly.
Yeah.
And there used to always be pigs hitting corner feeder. So we're going to put another trap over there. I'm not putting a trap in the woods because I think it's going to be too much work, and that should be more deer hunting.
I agree.
So there's plans. There's work being done. What we need your help with is 2 things.
Okay.
Grass carp for the hydrilla, because it's becoming.
I've been working on it.
It's a
Yes,
problem,
we need
and
it.
if we get a die off on that and it starts dumping carbon dioxide and everything as it rots, you're gonna have a way bigger problem than you
Yeah.
do right now. Like big problem. 2,
Is that
the
3? or 2?
hayfield. It hasn't been cut since you left.
It's like as tall as you.
Is it really?
Yeah, and we'll take the tractor and mow the whole thing over a few days if he'll let us. But he told us he was going to have it. Somebody's going to come harvest it, which is great. Somebody should. But
So,
last year
okay.
it broke 6 feet and then fell, and now it's back up to 6 feet.
Yeah.
All right, hang on. Why would you want to cut that down?
To be able to see what's happening. Deer don't move in that shit. No way.
Yeah.
No, they're
Here
gonna
we
move
go.
in it.
Fight,
No,
fight,
no,
fight,
no.
fight, fight, fight.
I want it so I can
Here's-
see pigs and
Yeah.
and coyotes to murder them. But
Here's what cut the edges, cut like 2 bush hog widths from the tree line out all the way around. And then you cut lanes and sections open in that stuff. I've been trying to get him for years to let that grow up because that is the most awesome bedding and cover like ever.
We're
we're gonna mow lanes. I can see that.
Yes, I can agree with that in one extent. And the other side of the coin, there's so much woods around there with brambles and these other thickets. I don't think they're gonna go bed in a field when there's woods.
Right.
They need both. But
Oh,
they
we saw
need
that
both.
one spot next to the
Hold on.
trap.
So another thing you could do is I forget what they're called. The humps in the middle of the field to keep from eroding.
Yeah,
Right.
the levees.
Leave strips on that, okay,
Yeah.
as a visual cover, and then mow the areas in between, or like mow an area so it'll seclude off what you're hunting. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
We can do that. You think he'd let us run the brush hog?
Probably not.
Nice. Fair enough. You need to come back down here.
Yeah, I know. So on the 5th, if I get him to let y'all put carp in there,
Here's the deal.
will y'all restock it with bass because there's been a bunch of bass that have died out there because of I don't know why.
Let's talk about this. How many bass have died?
Well, let's put it this way: we're pulling 10, 12s out of there for a couple years, and he wanted to pull out. I think this is the way it's supposed to work. He wanted to pull out all the little ones so those big ones would keep growing. You're supposed to pull out the big ones so the little ones can come
Follow.
up and not
You can-
overpopulate.
It works both ways.
Mhm.
You've got 4 times as many bass in there as you should.
Yes.
Like that's the problem.
I went out there-
It has nothing to do with pond quality. It's you're 100% overpopulated because we've culled some for him, but it needs to be a mass culling, and it
Y'all
doesn't.
need to-
There's
y'all
absolutely no
stock it.
need to restock it. They will the bass will take care of themselves. We will never catch every bass.
He was
The
making
issue-
it sound like
No, absolutely. He told us he found 1 dead bass, which could be from anything.
right. Oh, I know.
The issue is right now is 100% bass overpopulation
And
hydrilla.
Yep.
The hydrilla will create a huge die-off if for some reason there's a crash, it'll smoke them. If we
Yeah.
can get
Yeah,
1
yeah.
to 2 grass carp in there, which I told him I'm happy to deal with game
Texas Parks
warden
and
or
Wildlife.
Texas Parks and Wildlife for, because you have to get permitting, and that pond doesn't connect anything. They just want to come out and inspect it, and the ones you buy from them are sterile. And I think 2 would do it. Being a 2-acre pond. I don't know. That's clearly their decision. But he has to do the paperwork so we can throw this snowball down the hill and get it done.
So can you get the paperwork online?
I've already I sent it to him 2 months ago.
boom, roasted.
That sounds right.
The paperwork is like I said, if you will send this back to me, I will handle it 100%. But
They-
since I'm not a property owner, I can't do this.
Right. I talked to him about it last, and he was, he dragged his feet on everything. So
No, it's fine. I get it. It's not. I mean, this isn't
I'll talk to him again.
priority in the craziness of the world nowadays.
I mean, I went out there one day and I think I caught close to 20 bass, and I mean, none were over a pound.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're
We need
we
to pull them
we
out.
need
What
to
if
pull-
y'all
we need to
stock
pull-
it? Y'all thought about stocking it?
we need to pull 100 bass out of there.
Okay.
Legitimately.
Yeah, totally.
So you think just like for the full year, pull out 100 and you're good?
I mean, I'm making up that number. They're just
We need to
I
pull
think-
more out and give
there's-
them time.
Every fish you catch is under a pound. I think every fish under a pound, chuck it. Just done. Kill it. Because we're not catching the big fish. There's big fish out
Yeah.
there in the deep water. There's no way we're going to catch them all. I think come August, stop calling. Let them finish out the year, fatten up for the fall. Because right now, every fish you catch is also not, I don't want to say like skinny, but they're not fat, healthy bass by any means. There's not enough food in that
Yeah.
place. So fish need to come out of there. And then come August, when we go fish, but we don't cull anymore, and they fatten up into fall, they winter, we let them spawn next year. And then come May, June, when spawn's over with, then we start every fish we catch, we like check, like, all right, does this look healthy? Does this look skinny? If the fish are still skinny, as a whole, I mean, there's going to be females that are skinnier because it's post spawn. But if
Sure.
every fish still looks skinny, we cull again. But there needs to be a mass culling. It's a wonderful ecosystem out there, clearly, because it's just creating too many bass.
Shock the lake.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm serious.
We should go to if we could get, and we have a couple friends we could talk to, but try to get a electro fishing rig and see if we could float everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, and I would check with TPW too, because I know they'll come in and do a survey or something on your on the pond.
Okay.
But again, that may require some kind of paperwork or something that's going
I'm
to
sure
sit
it
on his desk for the
I'll
next.
look into that, but that's a really good idea. If we could electrofish it and put everything on the surface, then we could scoop out like all these little 1-pounders and just pull all of them.
Well, it would do two things. It would allow you to see exactly what's in there and what you're working with, and then it would allow you to take them out just boom like that.
Yeah, and then leave the big ones, and then all right, we're respawning, and we don't call for another 2 years. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
a big call, and then it's catch and release again. Then
Yep.
2 years, we start reconsidering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it.
I'll do some research.
Okay. I like it.
You get with him and get this
Approved.
paperwork for a grass carp. I mean, we just need
Okay.
1 or 2. That's all we need.
So
Stephen Baker for the win.
Oh God.
I
Read
gotta show
it.
this to
I
the
know,
camera.
I know.
Here you go, Cam. This is cool.
This is from Hondarama. Can't see.
nice.
Get it closer.
I gotta make it that one of these days.
Up,
Oh, I
up,
know.
look. There you go. There you go.
Hunt. Hey, you're beautiful.
I had just gotten 2 tattoos, FYI. That's why I had my pants pulled up. We were on a smoke break.
Yeah, that's.
And so I just want to lay that out there as
Whatever. Just whatever.
Hey, man, we're not judging, dude. Be yourself.
No, yeah.
It's Stillwater Creek, you know.
I leave and he's got 0 tats and like almost 2 years later and he's all tatted up. What's up with that?
Once you throw the snowball down the hill.
Yeah,
What,
it
what I
rolls
gave you,
fast.
I gave
Once
you
you start being a
almost,
piece of shit,
almost
double
half
you
of
go
your
away.
tattoos.
Yeah. Exactly. I it just was a snowball. I got that one, and then it was like, now I need more, and now I need more, and now I need more. You know.
What are YouTube comments saying?
I don't know. I guess it's break 30 here.
Baker's watching a bunch.
Yeah, we got Jesse out there.
About how to do the pond stuff and this and that.
What's some input on the pond stuff? Let's hear other people.
It's carrying capacity of the pond, probably pull 100 to start, and then you'll have to probably pull every year.
Yeah.
Also, this morning at Lake Cliff.
Yeah, you should. You're gonna pull an Austin and just set the microphone down at the very
Yeah,
first.
No,
so.
so I went fishing this morning. I go fishing at Lake Cliff all the damn time, and I caught, you guys saw, I caught almost, 4.9, almost 5-pound bass out of there the other morning.
Yeah.
I switched spots this morning, and it freaked me out. The water was just bubbling, like, as if there was like an aerator. And I'm like, what is this? And I look, and you just see this black cloud moving around. And I was like, that's fry. So it's either like, I'm talking about, it had to have been at least 5 feet in length. It's either bluegill or catfish. And I really wished I had a small net at the time just to scoop some out, you know?
See what's going on.
I had the buzz bait, so I just threw it in there a couple times to see what happened, and nothing
something.
happened. But
Snap it.
I figure with fry like that around, there's got to be a big
Yeah.
fish around who's
Following
waiting
it,
to
just-
eat. Yeah.
And those fry move, and that one's there. Bam! It hits.
And they don't move around like this. They're just like
a
this
drift.
cloud
They
moving
stay
around
that
in the
big
water.
ball.
Yeah,
It's like
it's awesome.
Yeah.
I saw catfish fry out there last year during spawn season. That was really cool. That lake is so disgusting. There's trash everywhere, and it's just crazy to see how much life is thriving.
Yeah.
Who's second on the docket today?
That would be Chris Farrell.
At 7? At 8?
Yeah, he's gonna join sometime in the next about 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes.
Cameron, what are the fun
Yeah.
stories you have for 15, 20 minutes?
Now
You
I'll
want
be
to talk about duck hunting?
Yeah, you did some
But,
duck.
oh,
Yeah.
so I came down to Helena this afternoon because I'm picking up my motor for the boat tomorrow.
What motor?
It's one of those. So it's going to start out terrible. Harbor Freight makes a 22
Yes.
horsepower
Predator motor.
motor that. Yep, it's caught the cat off the Hondas. So I'm picking up that. I ordered the long shaft out of Florida 2 days ago, so it's going to be here on Tuesday. I ordered Gator Glide today. It's going to be here in a week. And then all I got to do is paint the boat, build a blind. I'm ready to rock and roll. So got the dog, got the boat. Now I'm just waiting on duck season. So
Yeah, dog ramp. You're just going to yank her up in.
I'll build a little ramp for him. So, but I mean, that's no big deal. I can do that in 5 minutes. So,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty pumped about it. Duck season this year sucked.
Why?
Early season was good. Local birds were here. A lot of widgeons. Not as many mallards as last year, but I killed probably the prettiest widgeon I've ever killed. So he's in the freezer. And so, yeah, we'll see this year. I mean, it was weird because they, like last year, early season until like things started freezing up was just incredible. And then once stuff started freezing, the ducks moved out in the middle of the lake and just on these big rafts and stuff. And I don't know how to hunt those birds. So layout boats are illegal up here, so you can't use layout boats.
Interesting.
So I guess you'd have to get a really low profile boat and just make
Kayak.
like some decoy crafts.
Can you use a kayak?
I mean, I guess you could. I wouldn't want to on that lake.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I guess could
just
you do
'cause
like
of
a
how rough
layout
it is.
line on the ice? I guess could you even get close enough to?
No, but at that point, it's not thick enough for you to walk out on, and I'm not. My nuts aren't that big yet.
I don't blame you.
I don't like walking out on that ice. It gives me the freaking creeps.
I can imagine that takes years to get to that point where you're like, yeah, I'm good to go.
Yeah. Freaking Boone fell in an ice hole though. Like 2 days after I got him, we had 3 feet of ice on this one little slough off the river that my buddy was fishing. So I go out there with the dog, brand new dog. You know, he's 7 weeks old, and I take him out there. We're just trotting off across, and he head first right in the hole.
Wow,
Gosh.
it's crazy.
Like, yeah. But yeah, so I'm hoping the duck thing won't be like that this year. So we'll see. Just depends. The return migration was freaking insane. There was like 2 weeks there. There was millions of birds in the valley. It was pretty
I want
cool.
to go to there.
Say what?
I want to go to there.
It's pretty cool. I think it's a pretty underrated.
We get
Those
educated birds.
Those are smart birds. Yeah, we get those are the ones that get killed before they get here. They probably don't. I don't even know. Does the birds in Montana end up in Texas at all? Do you think they come, or do we just get everything straight down the Central Flyway? Or are they hitting that West Coast Flyway?
I mean, you get a lot of widgeons on the coast. You get a lot of teal on the coast. There's a lot of teal that summer here. There's a lot of widgeons that stay around. There's a few mallards, but you know, I mean, those mallards that stay through the summer, they're not going to migrate down. They'll
I
stay
feel like
through
we
winter.
killed more mallards than anything this year.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
But I think I can't say that even confidently. That's not true.
What's that?
I was gonna say I think they were resident, but we killed dozens of mallards.
Yeah.
Those weren't
Really?
resident.
No.
Dozens. So
Huh.
my statement's not valid. They were migratory. We found a good spot. We got
Yeah.
lucky. Maybe
So
lucky we actually did our job this year.
Something that's big up here is field hunting for ducks.
In cornfields and shit.
I've always been curious about field hunting for ducks. It looks interesting,
Yeah,
but I don't
Dude, I've
know
got a
anything
buddy-
about it.
Yeah.
I've got a buddy that's all he does. He will not hunt on the water because he hates it. All he does is field hunt, and I'm like, dude, all I've ever done is hunt on the water. I've never done a field hunt.
Yeah,
except for
that's
geese.
that's where I'm at with it. Like, I'm like, I know water hunting, but
Yeah.
field hunting looks interesting.
Agreed.
It's different. I've seen them decoy in a field, and it's weird. I mean, you know, if all you've ever done is water hunt,
And watching them land on the ground.
Mm.
It's weird.
yeah, they're goofy as all get out.
I think My bold prediction this year is duck season I think we take it another step forward this year.
For sure.
You know,
And
we're expanding
and,
out.
Eastern Montana.
What's that?
That's how you take it a step forward, is meeting me in Eastern Montana.
Speaking of meeting you, I've been super stoked with our idea of me bringing River up for South Dakota pheasant hunting, Boone and River.
Yes.
The Draught Ha and the short hair.
So Boone is technically a wire hair, but he looks like a short hair.
Mm.
His dad and mom are short hairs, but or wire hairs. But he's got real short hair like Maddie used to.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. He's gonna be something else.
Well, I don't know how River's gonna turn out. She'll point a bird like no other. Retrieving's not her strong point, almost like Maddie was. But
yeah,
I want to get her out on some wild birds because like all she does, she's bird crazy.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome. He's thinking pretty.
All I'm thinking about is a South Dakota trip. That's where I'm at right now.
You're
Yeah.
hate
Right.
right
Oh.
now.
Like, yeah, quail hunting's on my scope for this coming year. You got to come down this way and we'll go tear up Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm
That's
down.
our state mission
Yeah.
this year
You come down and see me, buddy.
is Oklahoma.
Dude, I need to get back. Come hang out. It's been nuts here.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good things about Oklahoma, so I'm excited to give it a try this year with.
Oklahoma's where my focus is this year,
Yeah.
especially for quail.
Mine is ducks.
I have an
and
inside
elk.
I have an inside man to tell me whether the quail is going to be good this coming season, and I'm
Where?
Oklahoma.
Who?
Who do I have? I have a family member that works for the government.
Okay.
Texas Hunter. It was Abe that drew the elk hunt, the elk
Yeah.
tag.
Yep.
I drew it, and I checked it. When I checked it, Cameron and I were talking on the phone, and I was like, "Holy shit! I drew an elk tag in Oklahoma of all places."
I know you have
So
the
that's-
like oddest luck with that shit.
I'm-
It's crazy.
And raffles.
Yeah, you
I-
win shit all the time.
He does.
I
But that first
He's got the eye of
CHA
the
meeting
Jew.
I went to, I won that Yeti and that Nalgene. I was like, cool. And then the next one we went to, it's like for that, I think it was like a Yeti soft side. I was like, maybe I'll win. There's no one here, and I didn't win.
yeah, no, I get it.
Well,
I know. It's the way it goes.
Cameron, how do you want to wrap up? Because
Yeah.
we'll get you wrapped up so you can go about your day, and then we'll kind of do a few minutes of answering comments, and then we'll roll the next guest. What do you got, buddy?
What do you want to know?
Oh my
What's
God.
your
I
sign?
What's your sign?
It's going to be an interesting year. I'm focused on birds this year. Boone is 7 months old now, so getting the boat set up just in time. I'm not worried about him pointing. That'll come on. I got pigeons for him to train him on, so the big game stuff's going to have to be put on hold this year. I'll probably hunt a little bit. I'd like to do some high country mule deer stuff, but I need to take this first year to get him really turned on. Eastern Montana has got some pretty incredible pheasant hunting. Probably going to start him on grouse though, because it'll teach him to hold. Those pheasants will just run a dog to death. So those grouse, they're dumb until you put a dog on them, and then they're real gamey.
Yeah, grouse hunting's tough for a dog.
Yeah, but there's a ton of them up here.
Yeah. I've been super
Well,
interested.
I'd fly up there to grouse hunt.
Yeah, I've been super interested in
Throw
in
a
Boone.
shotgun and Pelican case and get on a plane. You ain't got to take anything.
Yeah.
He's got a dog.
I've been focusing since I got him. I've focused on waterfowl stuff because his drive to point is so strong. I
Mhm.
wanted to instill the fetch, retrieve.
Yeah, you're not going to break
thing.
that point.
Right.
Yeah.
What time does grouse hunting start up there? Do you know? Off the top of your head?
September 1, I think, something like that. So I think it's September 1. Maybe it's the end of I don't know. I'll look.
That is way cooler than dove hunting.
Yeah. It
doesn't take that long to
slick.
drive up there either.
Say what?
Anna? Oh yeah, no, not at all. Like 2 days.
20 hours.
Yeah.
I can get to Wyoming in 17.
Yeah,
That's-
buddy.
That's whip.
And I've got a couple private pieces that I'm gonna grouse hunt on too that have like never been hunted. So
Oh.
I'm trying to save that for
The
I
rainy
want to
day.
start 'em on. Yeah, we'll start 'em on some pigeons. I've got pigeons at the house. But I'll start him on those probably in another week or so. But he knows where they're at, and he goes over there and just loses his freaking mind. But
Have you been
it'll-
doing everything yourself with them? Like, what's your training? Just you by yourself, pigeons and all that?
Yeah, so I haven't started him on the pigeons yet. That'll be in about a week
Right.
or so.
Yeah. He's
Most
only
everything has been waterfowl stuff. So he learned to swim 3 weeks ago, and he outswam an English last day, and I was really proud of him.
How'd you do the introduction to swimming?
So from day one, he was fed right down a hallway. So it was like, just fetch for 2 feet, bring it back.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
positive reinforcement, further and further and further, and then you work in heel and stay and all that. So he's got that all down pat, right? So fetching is a daily thing. We do it every day. Very structured, but it's only for like 5-10 minutes. Like, it's not a big deal. Right?
For sure.
Sucker's got it down. He will do it. He's excited. He knows it pleases me. He wants to please. And so then I take that and we go back to square one on when he comes to water, right? So he's hesitant with water, doesn't quite know what to think about it. So we just barely put it in there, right? And tell him to fetch, and he fetches it. And then you go further and further and further. And eventually he figures out that, hey, if I'm not splashing the water all in my face and I just go get it, like it's freaking fun, right?
Uh-huh.
And so that's the point he's at.
I was just asking because River is not about swimming. I can't get her to swim.
How have you done it?
That's like,
Yeah. My dog wore a robe all day yesterday.
What?
Yeah. He has a dog robe.
This needs
So
further
anyway, so
explanation.
you were using this hunting dog for what now? Like, go back to that. Let's talk about hunting dogs.
How have you tried to get her to swim?
I haven't like forced anything. I've done a couple things and just basically taken her around water. She loves water. As soon as the bottom starts dropping out, she is definitely not sure about that. And since she doesn't fetch as much, I have not like tried to do a fetch because I don't want to reinforce the fact that if I throw something out there and she doesn't go get it, not to bring it back to me.
Okay, so I forgot this part. So the first time I introduced him to water, okay, he was doing really good. He would go out until it was like to the top of his chin, and he'd turn around and come back, right?
Yep. That's basically what River's at.
So I kind of had to make take the leap to where he was off the bottom and swimming, right?
Right.
So we're doing good, we're doing great. So it just past that edge, right? He wouldn't go get it. Okay. He wanted to bad, but he was unsure. So I'm like in a city park, like in the middle of downtown Kalispell, in my jeans, rubber boots, and people walking everywhere. And I stripped down and I go get out in the water, and he swam to me. And that's how he figured it out. Because I had to get in the water.
Say that because we just had somebody comment. Jesse commented and said, Scotty had to get in with his dog.
Yeah, and that's why I asked you how you did it, because that was my. We're actually going in on the 4th down to a lake. And the main thing in my mind I was gonna do was literally just get out in the water with her. Even if I have to carry her in the water and like hold her in there and then let her swim back to the shore.
No, but that so
I'm not gonna throw her
That-
or force her.
right. But with you taking her and allowing her to swim back, that will be a sort of negative reinforcement.
Okay, think so?
Yeah, she's gonna
Yeah.
have
See,
to
'cause I've
she's
heard
trying
the
to save
opposite.
she's trying to save herself.
Now I've heard the opposite, that like people say take them out there because like if you let them swim out to you, they learn to swim with their ass down and not as well like trying to fill the bottom. If you take them out and let them swim back and keep on doing it as a positive thing, it does the opposite. But you disagree with that?
So, a lot of it, I think, depends on the dog. Okay, like Boone,
My ass down when I
I
swim.
knew I knew he wanted the toy, right? Like he wanted his bumper. Okay. So all he needed to know was that it was okay to swim out, and me being out there gave him that little bit of confidence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not take him and let him swim back because I know in his mind that he's saving himself, right? Like Austin said.
Right.
I would try to start it by finding something she likes and helping her go get it, right? Because I think that's going to be more positive than letting her swim back and forcing her to go out there.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
if she does it on her own, like she'll learn to swim. Like you're not going to do that over and over and over. Like once she gets the hang of it, she'll learn and build and so on and get more comfortable with it, right?
yeah.
I mean, unless you're just taking her out there and let her swim back time and time again. I don't see why she wouldn't figure to keep her butt up on her own, you know. Because Boone did that for the longest time. He was just splashing in his face.
Yeah.
He wouldn't get his feet down, so his butt was sinking. Dude, he looks like a stinking lab going across the water now. And he's only been swimming for 3 weeks.
Right. I'm a little behind the mark too with her for swimming. Not
Well,
much.
she's still
but a
young.
little. Yeah, she's still young.
Still.
But we're hitting that she's over a year.
Mhm.
And it's funny because like, she wants to, and I've done a lot of things of just trying to coax her into that deeper water. And she's like, she gets that little bit of like the bottom dropping out from her, even on I worked her on a hard bottom, and she like, even with the hard bottom, she was like, I'm not cool with this. And the main thing I'm doing is not trying to force it.
I would just go out there with her and let her come to you.
Yeah, I tried that.
Have you?
Yeah.
What? I'm so excited. What happened?
Big question.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But we'll
I
figure
don't
it out.
know.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, it's always a DOG.
it is a DOG.
Boys, I got to run.
Yeah,
All right, yeah.
We got next guest.
Cameron, thank you so much
Hugs
for
and
joining
kisses,
us.
hugs
We
and
miss you.
kisses.
We miss you.
Hugs and kisses.
Come
Yep.
hang out. Come back to Texas.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's that's how we really
Yeah.
say I love you.
Yeah. The man said hello. All right,
We
brother.
love you, buddy.
We'll talk to you
See
later.
you guys.
Guys.
Bye.
Turn off your computer too before you do something weird.
Yeah. Oh my God, can you imagine how cool that would
So,
be?
that was fun.
Yeah.
Quick heads up. Jordan and I had talked so tomorrow, for everyone listening, tomorrow we're running the Brazos below Whitney. We're a huge fishing trip.
Yeah,
We're
big
doing
fishing
7 or 8 hours on the
Oh, I
river.
can't
We're gonna
wait.
crush it. Big concern was wind. We kind of just said whatever. B, water levels.
There's a storm coming in right now.
Right now, it's
Yeah.
gonna be storm tonight, real bad.
Yeah.
I talked to the lady at Dick's Canoes, which is the takeout spot.
Okay.
She was like, I don't know. I hear the water levels are bad, this and that. She said, my son runs like the escorted, guided floats, whatever. She said, call after 7:30. I called. He answered, said, here's the deal, brother. We want to drop in at 6 a.m., get on the early bite, and be out of the water by 2. Is it passable? He said, the fishing is fucking awesome because the water level's so low.
That they're trapped in pools.
He said they're stuck.
I didn't want
He
to
said it's completely.
definite anyone with
He
that
said
one.
it's completely passable. You may have to do a little dragging. He said, but the fishing is on.
That's what I'm
So-
talking about. That's what I'm talking
Boom!
about.
Jordan and I talked earlier, and I was
Yeah.
like, we're not going to talk to these
Bass
guys
master.
because if we hear back that it's not passable, we're just going to hang out and drink
Ready,
beer.
yeah.
And like we'll just hang
Float.
out.
Yeah.
No, we just won't go.
Oh, okay.
If it's like, no, you can't even get through.
Yeah,
But this
then-
dude's like, you might have to drag a little, but the fishing is on.
that's cool.
Mhm.
Boom.
Roasted. Do
Makes
it.
me feel better.
Hey, and
He
it's gonna
answered the phone
be.
just now.
It will
and I
be.
asked him, he was like, how many boats? I was like, 5. He's like, leave money in the windshield. And I was like, I ain't leaving cash on a windshield. I'll leave you a check, and as soon as we pull out, I'm gonna give you. I'll swap it for
Yeah.
cash, but I just don't believe you. He said, what is it? I said, white F-150. It'll have a big Tex trailer on the back. That's our vehicle.
Yeah.
Because I said we're gonna be up there early.
Yeah.
It's on.
Yeah.
I like
He said- he
fishing.
said cool- he said cool.
Fishing is
It will
cool.
be. It will be a video that is coming out. We are planning.
We
We've
have
got
a lot of
Go
content
to.
tomorrow.
We got a ton of GoPros. We have the big camera that's going to come with us,
Excited
and
now.
so it's going to be a lot of fun. So
Taking 3 rigs with me. I got a
Yeah,
bunch
I
of
got-
tackle.
I got
you
a
know.
lot.
I'm taking 3 rigs and a blowgun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you
we
get your bow rigged up? No.
If they want,
He's got his bow though.
yeah, I got my.
I'll figure out how to pull righty tomorrow.
Just. Wait. What?
Have we not done this yet? Where you like we did this I think at Baker's house, where it's like I'm right-handed. And it's like watching someone who's right-handed try to throw something with their left hand is like the funniest
But I
thing
feel
ever.
like it's going to be a little easier just because I am right-handed.
So my right
So,
arm's strong.
do we
Well,
need-
I'm strong
Strong
enough
like
to pull.
bull.
Yeah,
Yeah, do
exactly.
we need to do this where we try to like shoot archery with everyone?
Chasing
opposite
Gar
us?
challenge.
Chasing Gar.
Gar challenge.
You have to go
That
out and
and
use.
tire fire.
You got to
Okay.
use the other opposite bow to catch a gar.
Everybody only
So-
gets one guard.
You must
decoy.
catch
Yeah.
the dungeon master.
Okay, so we are going to be having Chris Farrell on the podcast any minute now. He's gonna be
Podcast
done.
challenge with Chris
Podcast
Farrell.
challenge.
Get
How-
a guest on the
can you-
podcast with no
Yeah,
phone calls.
Get a guest only on with the text message. So but we do want to announce our first giveaway
Chasing
of the night.
podcast.
Shut up! You're so fucking annoying.
Hashtag chasing
Hashtag
podcast.
Huntress. So we are going to do a giveaway. We're
Yes.
announcing a giveaway
What
right
is it?
now.
What's the giveaway?
The giveaway is going to be a case.
Case.
A whole
Not
case.
box.
Case.
Case.
Case
Case.
Case.
of Rio steel shot shotgun shells.
Oh
For
no,
depth.
no, not really.
Waterfowl.
Shotgun shells.
Waterfowl legal.
Steel
Oh, shotgun
Dump
bullets.
shotgun bullets.
Shotgun
Shotgun
bullets.
You're going to be
Boom,
able to
okay.
use shotgun bullets.
Boomstick battery.
Boomstick
Boomstick batteries.
batteries.
That's right.
So-
Exactly.
You don't take these dove hunting, kids.
Yeah.
Whoever you wins this, take a
I mean, you could, but you're not gonna get a dove. back.
Stipulations apply. Check the
There's no
Instagram
need
in a couple
to
days.
Take these dove
Yeah.
hunting. Save them. Sell them to your friends who duck hunt if you don't duck hunt.
Yeah.
Or hit us up.
Must
we
be
might ta-
18
we-
years or
we
older
might
to
take
apply.
somebody-
If you've never
Yeah.
gone and you need somebody to go duck hunting
We
with,
might take you. We
let
might
us
take
know.
you.
So, but here's how you get entered into this competition. Okay, competition. This challenge.
First, you gotta go to the Instagram page. Then you gotta
Challenge.
like. Then you gotta
Yeah.
follow. Then you gotta repost. Then you gotta tell us what
You
you,
know
like
the
about
deal.
duck hunting. And we're gonna review the participants 2 weeks from now, and we will announce a winner.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
We've got a guest joining. So yeah, like he said, we're going to need you to like the Rio Ammo shot Instagram page. We need you to, and if you like the Instagram page, go like the Facebook page. If you
Don't confuse this.
what?
Don't give exceptions. Give just basic all give.
Go like the Instagram
Austin,
page
take
for
over.
Rio Ammo. Like our Instagram page, and
After this podcast, we will make a post about this. Share this post. We will remind you, and you will have to go back and share this actual post. You have 2 weeks. You basically have until the first week of July 4th, basically.
Yeah.
Let's say July 4th, we're going to call the winner.
I like that.
July
I like
4th, America,
it's America.
shotgun shells.
July.
And Chris is on here.
And I
We'll
feel
read-
like we're probably gonna get we could get both barrels on at the same time if we wanted to.
Are y'all driving?
Yeah, we're on our way home from our friend's birthday dinner.
Nice.
Heck yeah. What'd you guys eat? Did y'all have food? Food is cool.
Is your lovely wife
Barbecue.
driving right
Yeah, I
now?
was gonna say,
Barbecue is really cool.
did you bring your
Yeah.
wife with you? Cause we like her a lot more.
Yeah.
I can't
Hey,
blame
Annie.
you.
So we've got both ferals on
That's
here.
awesome. 2-for-1
This
deal.
is a 2-for-1 feral.
Yeah, yeah.
So welcome to the 100th episode. You are probably our most
Yeah.
frequent guest that is on our
Just
podcast.
so informative and so
Yeah.
much fun.
Our best
I
podcast
try. I
ever,
try.
which we super appreciate. So how things been going?
Pretty good. Just trying to get used to the heat and working in it every day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
That's
good
fun.
times. Good times.
So you guys just been doing a lot of tying deer up so that nobody can find them on public land, that kind of stuff, you know?
Oh yeah, and we love it when people ask us where we've got one tied up on our
Building,
hunts.
building little pins,
Building
you know,
pins and
so
stuff like
you can
that, so-
release
Yeah,
What?
regulated release.
What?
We are
exactly.
obviously kidding people.
No, we
That's
get
not
it.
what
We
happens.
public hunt.
Yeah, yeah.
Deer aren't real.
Deer don't exist on public land. Yeah,
Make him full screen on there.
he can't. It's illegal.
I can switch to my computer here in a second.
Yeah,
That's
all
fine.
good, man.
So, how's outside of just getting ready for season? What's it been like for that? Is what's your outlook on the coming season for deer and ducks as well?
Well, we had a real wet spring, so that's good for deer with all the food sources out there and antler development and whatnot. Ducks, it's hard to tell. We're kind of at the mercy of, will this water stay around, or will it get cold up north?
Yeah.
So that's kind of tough.
Has what's your gut feeling feel like? Do you think it's going to be a good year? Or do you think it's going to be another kind of what we've been dealing with the last couple
We're
of years?
we're gonna hold you to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah, sure.
I will say we're good for we're due for a good year.
Yeah,
So
I feel like that too.
hopefully it works.
We've been doing a lot of hunting on Tawakoni, which is obviously your mainstay. Oh, you got the dogs?
Yeah,
Love
Otter.
Danny. Is that Otter?
it is.
Such a
It is
silly
Otter.
dog name.
How do you not remember dog names?
I'm terrible. I
Yeah.
don't remember.
I don't
your
remember
name.
people. I don't remember people's names or dog names. I'm all about it.
So
All right, I'm trying to get it on my computer.
that's cool.
You're good.
We do have a couple questions that people wanted to know about.
Okay.
And so I'm going to pull those up.
I'll read one of these questions. It says, Abe, why are you the way you are?
I need to know who that's from.
That's a question from me right
Oh,
now.
okay.
That's a question from
Oh,
this
okay.
side of the
This
room.
side of the room
From
is
this side
asking.
of the room.
Well, I think it has to do with my dad. And, you know,
Oh, we're digging deep on
he
this one.
wasn't
Oh, wow.
there
Here we
for
go.
me, and
Daddy wasn't there. Take me to the fair.
changed my underwear. You know, it's bad.
Daddy.
Mommy didn't love you enough. Daddy loved you too much.
Pretty much.
Who'd that come from?
Were you dropped on your head when you were young?
A lot.
He was
Yeah.
dropped on his head earlier today.
Dropped on my head would indicate that I somehow had some sort of physical affection. They just left me in a room to grow up by myself. My dog loved me more than anything, you know. So
That's really messed up, man.
it's really jacked up. I'm not even mad. I'm just sad for you. So our good friend Scotty has asked us. First of all, he's built a
Scotty,
paddle
What did he ask us?
to pay off the bet that I
No, we
bet
know
against
that.
you.
Wait, that's
It's
always
terrible.
been the thing.
Yeah.
We're gonna discuss that later.
Okay. He said, with feral hog populations as they are, do hogs push deer out of habitat? Would deer quality quantity be better with lower number of hogs? Has the hog population shown any signs of plateauing?
I'm gonna throw out my guesses here.
Okay.
Since Chris is getting
Well,
his
we're-
computer
he's-
set up.
yeah, there we go.
My guess is yes, pigs push deer around,
Okay.
and no, it hasn't plateaued. That's my
Alright.
that's my very
I
unprofessional opinion.
agree with you.
Because
We'll
I
see.
just feel like pigs are out rutting around. You just don't, the deer aren't quite as there. Like
Yeah.
they may not be far behind, but they're not gonna be like, nah, bro. Those
So you don't feel
filthy
like they
beasts.
share the same.
No.
No, I feel like when you run
If-
around, they
If
move
pigs,
around.
if you got a squalor of pigs, I don't remember the exact term.
Huh?
I think the word
Sounder.
What happened?
is sounder. Correct.
Squalor's good.
Squalor. I think that's what I was born into. Is-
If you got a
Oh, I
mess,
call them a flock.
you got a whole grip.
That's right.
If you got a whole grip of piggies, running
I like
through,
that.
then I just don't feel like the deer just more delicate, I guess, and be like, nah, dude, we ain't into that mess.
Yeah.
But now he's back online.
Like, what does our
A
expert say?
professional.
So, just some anecdotal evidence to start with. When we do our camera surveys at the Old Sabine Bottom WMA, we've got 34 camera points throughout the area. And when we start getting pigs on a camera, our deer numbers drop drastically. So not only do they avoid that area, but then pigs also directly compete with deer for forage. I mean, they'll root up anything. They'll push deer around. It's just a direct competitor in a lot of ways because a pig will eat anything. So, yeah. And as far as plateauing, no, I don't think so. They're
Never
so
drop off happen, huh?
they're such a generalized animal that will survive on anything that, I mean, the numbers are just going to continue increasing, and we have to do something different because hunting isn't going to solve our problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I agree. I would agree with that 100%.
And I cannot believe the folks up north that move pigs around for hunting. Like, you've seen what it did to the South. Why on earth would you try it up north?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What other question we had? We had a question from our friend Joel Smith. And I think this was a little bit tongue in cheek,
That's
but
a good dude.
what is your plan for dealing with CWD and captive bred cervids?
Oh,
Any word about that, or is that a hashtag plead
out
the
of top water
fifth?
bait. It's whipping out top water like.
I don't have a plan for it. I'm just a field biologist. At the state level, there's increased monitoring, trace in, trace outs, trying to reduce the movement of deer and then track the deer once they do have something that's tested positive from a facility. But, ideally, the CWD causes the decline of, I guess, deer breeders and the moving of captive cervids. It just from a biological standpoint, anytime you get a bunch of animals together in one spot, disease is going to spread rapidly.
Absolutely.
Just like any other thing that exists on this planet, right? hence-
Life forms.
hence why New York is like
Quarantine.
the worst COVID area ever.
It's pretty
yeah.
fitting at this point in time with what we're going through. But
You want to welcome Dale Gribble to the podcast?
Yeah, exactly.
But just as far as Parks and Wildlife standpoint goes, it's just an increased monitoring kind of thing, and we'll see what happens.
And I mean, I think, like, to me, you guys are doing such a great job of keeping it maintained in the small amount of areas that it's in, and I think that's a huge hats off to you guys for what you're doing because it's such a difficult thing to try to keep your head around because you got so many moving parts to it that's so difficult, and I think you guys are doing a bang up job of keeping it in the areas where it's at, and I think the rules and the regulations are in place. I think we have the people in place in kind of the high positions of power, both at a kind of a legislative area as well as within your organization that are aware of it and know what to do to kind of keep it at bay. So I got to thank you for what you do, sir.
Once you have CWD, you have it. It's not going anywhere. But you can slow the spread, which is what we're ideally trying to do.
For sure.
Yeah.
Just like coronavirus.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Unfortunately, we don't have a
Never gonna be zero. It's just a thing now.
This exists now.
Will you stop?
Please stop.
Go sit in the corner. You got a timeout
You
for
have
5 minutes
You have
over
a
here.
5-minute time.
Like we're talking about hunting here.
We're just talking with our friends.
As the kids say, you're gaslighting Austin right now.
No, I'm gaslighting myself.
I don't think that's how
I'm
that
trying. I'm
works.
trying to stop it. You're welcome.
You don't know me, Hank.
I don't know.
unknowable.
I'm
I'm unknowable. Chicken cha. Squirrel tactics. Pakistan.
You guys are amazing.
I am trying to see if we
What's
have any
this
more
medicine?
questions, but
That's
Um,
good medicine.
that's the whiskey.
It looks like medicine.
Just
Oh God.
Hey.
So
I got a cough.
I've been meaning to try to talk to you a little bit about ducks at Old Sabine River bottom. So what does that picture look like in that kind of Sabine River corridor there? What's that population look like there?
Well, it depends on the water situation. If we have water and everyone else doesn't, a la 2011, 2012, it's awesome. If we have water and everyone else does, then it's just about the same. It's hit or miss based on what hole you go to, and the best thing to do is to just scout the day before, not bust the ducks out of the hole, but if they're there the day before, they're going to be there in the morning. So
Yeah.
But we
Is-
can't have bang up seasons. It's just the past probably 4 years have not been good.
Yeah. And then I think that, like you said, that's due to, I mean, I feel like we've had a couple wet years and it's been really not cold up north. So they're just hanging up further up.
I mean, the more water out there on the landscape, the more areas they have to go. And then there's,
It
so
spreads
many areas.
Yeah, it doesn't
Concentrate 'em,
funnel
yeah.
them in. I mean, there was a spot north of here we hunted a couple of years ago, a handful of years ago actually, and I was far less understanding of how ducks worked at that point, and there was a bunch of flooded trees, and I ignored them and watched people walk out of there with ducks, and now I understand how much of an idiot I am. There was too much water, but they clearly were going to flooded timber, not a lake, and I was an idiot. So yeah, too much water can work, but you got to be in really, really on the X
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Absolutely. Scouting is key when there's too much water.
Yes, and we just had Dr. Duck and his guys on here, and that was what we talked about with them, and
Dennis
they
and Billy,
reinforced
yeah.
is go and find the birds. I mean, if you're gonna hunt the weekend, Thursday night, Friday night, find out where they're moving, because that can change with the quickness, especially down here when, as he put it, we got Ivy League birds. We just got off the phone with our buddy Cameron, lives way up north where the migration starts. I don't want to say it's easy for him. Those birds are just like, oh, we got to start moving. By the time they get here, they've seen every mojo, they've seen every decoy, good or bad, flocked or not. Like, they've seen jerk rigs, they've seen it all. So we've got work to do here. Up there, they just kind of like, yeah, put some decoys in the water and shoot at them.
One day I'm gonna go hunt some stupid ducks.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
hunt some stupid
too.
ducks too.
Oh, for sure.
Someday.
mhm.
Just go shoot a bunch of ducks.
I just
So,
like
like,
talking
I'm
to
gonna go
Dr.
shoot
Duck and just
ducks.
like the fact that you can. So I've also been watching
Are you familiar with him?
the Doctor of Ducks,
I am
Dr.
not-
Duck and
Dennis
Fell Hunter.
Leisure. Yeah.
Check them out on YouTube.
Yeah, they're
You
good.
guys-
They're good stuff.
Great fowl hunters,
Here,
great
from
public
here in
land
Texas,
hunters.
out in Tyler.
Yeah.
Super good guys.
Yep. They're right in your neck of the woods. Now they hunt Arkansas and Oklahoma and South Dakota
They
and
hunt
North
all
Dakota
over
and
the
Washington.
place. They're talking
and
about going to Canada,
Canada
and everything. Yeah, those guys are all over
Louisiana.
the place.
They hunt all over the place. But I have been watching a new YouTube channel, Surviving Duck Season, which is another old boy from
Chasing duck
Arkansas.
season.
Chasing duck challenge season.
You make one error and your freaks never let you live it down. So
Chasing the Brazos. That's
But
the
he
series
talks about the
tomorrow.
fact that you can just
chasing brazos.
you can hammer on a duck call up in Arkansas. Same thing that Dr. Duck told us. And those ducks will come back. You hammer on a duck call here, they're
Gone.
woo,
Oh, yeah.
out,
No, dude, I get
Yeah.
that.
Out.
We're out of here.
out. So
Question. Well, a couple questions.
Yeah, so you go then. I was just looking at these. We got some comments coming on through on the YouTube feed.
Jesse one says, any plans Chris knows about for moving hunter-killed animals, like allowing deboned meat?
I think he's referring to the
The CWD.
CWD
Yeah.
topic.
within the state, I don't know of the rules regarding that. I know if you're bringing in an animal from out of state, it does have to be deboned, no part of the spine attached, and the skull has to be totally clean. I just know that because I hunt out of state. Within the state,
Not know that.
Mhm.
the responsible thing to do would be if you're getting your meat processed, you take it to the processor, they'll handle it all. But if you're not, you process your own meat, like myself. You need to dispose of the bones and the remains in a type 1 landfill, or I'll just debone the meat in the field and throw it in a cooler and then bring it home and process it that way.
Yeah. But I gotta keep them big bones for soup bones now.
And ossobuco and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too in Texas. You just have to have the head. It doesn't have to be attached to the rest of the body. But coming in from out of state, like Wyoming, you have to have proof of sex left on one of the actual quarters. So we're really lucky in Texas that we can debone our meat and just have the head on to go along with it.
Yeah, for sure.
That helps it out.
What
bunch.
else here?
Let's see, Baker.
How we've got a couple buddies actually who are finishing wildlife biology and fisheries degrees. One says, "How long did it take you to get hired on with TPWD, and any tips?" I mean, clearly, only comment as much as you can.
So I interned for 2 summers when I was in college. That helped a lot. You kind of just set the tone for your future if you do well in your internship. If you work hard, don't complain. We've had interns throughout the state, all over the board, from really, really hard workers that got hired with us, and then other ones who we definitely will not hire.
Yeah.
But that's the best thing to do. If you can't get a paid internship, call up your local biologist, see if you can do a volunteer internship. Some of them are willing to do that. Some of them aren't. I actually lucked out. I applied for this job when I was still in grad school and then was offered it before I
Sorry about that.
I don't know what that was.
but I actually got the job and started before I finished grad school. And if I could make a recommendation to anyone, it is don't do that. Finish writing your thesis before you start a full-time job.
Okay.
Noted.
Yeah.
Sorry, we just had an antivirus
Yeah.
random screen pop up. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. Hey, check comments, see what else we got.
Okay. Let's see what else we've got here.
Let's see. You guys, maybe I need help. All right. I'm gonna go home. This is terrible. I quit. What is happening?
I don't know.
right now? Technical difficulty. All right. That is
Just know.
a
There we
foul
go.
noise. There we go. Awesome.
Hashtag
fix it.
Stormwater Creek. The antivirus got us there.
Chasing antivirus.
Chasing
Jeez.
antivirus.
Chasing COVID.
Yeah, chasing COVID. The computer got COVID just now.
If you had one word to describe this scenario, what would you use?
Yeah, this is brilliant.
Yeah. This is
During my
buddy
first
James.
deer hunt, my wife gutted the deer and smeared the blood on my face.
No.
Yeah,
That's the only word.
just
Is
seems
no.
like-
Just no.
No.
My,
In
my,
my
my
opinion.
one word is what?
Yeah, exactly. What?
What?
Or just
What?
no.
I mean, I've heard a lot about that, like people who just like
That's the
smear
thing.
blood on their face and
Jake,
as that.
thank you,
first one.
dude.
But yeah, it's I don't know. I've never wanted to be like, I always like, I don't mind smearing blood on somebody else's face, but I don't
It
want
seems
that on me.
highly unnecessary.
Whose blood? What
The
blood? are we
deer,
talking
the
about?
deer.
Okay.
The deer blood.
Wait,
Jared's never
we're-
killed a deer yet.
I have not. I'm a
we're
fish.
gonna-
That's
I'm a
fine.
fisherman.
We're
That's
gonna
fine.
smear some blood on
I'm
your
a
face.
No, we're not.
You were gonna smear
That's-
blood
that's
on your
weird.
face.
I'm
and
gonna
you have to
smear
put
something
mud
else on
you,
your
and then you have
face
to
when you
spend
go
the
to
night in
sleep
the
tonight.
woods. Bro,
Yeah.
I have
What did
not
you say?
let him. He's gonna smear something else on my face when I gotta sleep.
I'm
tonight.
gonna teabag you.
That's a hate crime.
I'm gonna put my nutsack on your drum set.
Oh my god, Brendan, don't you dare. Okay, now we're just
Anyways.
quoting stepbrother.
Back to our guest.
Oh, yeah.
Talking to Chris
and, no,
right
and he
now.
responded and said he never grew up hunting.
Yeah, no, he's an adult onset hunter just like us. That's
Yeah.
my buddy
yeah,
James.
same here.
So,
Yeah. No, I didn't grow up
No,
hunting
I
at
mean,
all.
I get it.
Three
What-
of the four of us didn't grow
Yeah.
up hunting.
I grew up fishing, but hunting is something super new to myself.
When I was a kid, I got blood smeared on my
See?
face.
That's
Like that was a rite of passage.
Rite of passage,
I've
Uh,
heard that
yeah.
a lot.
I just don't. I get
that was
Trust
something
me.
that happened.
I understand the thing. I just don't get the thing.
Yeah, I mean,
But whatever. Let's continue.
yeah, I think the one word would be
I mean, as a kid,
do
like,
it to other people now. That's
Not one word.
What?
Give us one word. Come on, chasing
Uh,
carnivore.
do it to- I
Figure
know-
it out.
Chasing words.
chasing words. I would just
My one word for you is
One word
chasing.
One word challenge.
Chasing.
One word challenge.
So
What-
Abe, did you
No, come on.
did you introduce this show as the 100th episode of Chasing Carnivore?
No, I did not.
You didn't?
Oh,
so
no,
that'd be
no,
embarrassing.
This
I
is
would say rest in peace, but no. Burn in
It's-
hell.
burn in hell.
Chasing carnivore is
There's
dead.
a huge story about that. It only lasted 3 episodes.
3
and,
episodes too much.
Well, you know,
We're here now. We've evolved.
we have evolved. You know, so
We've grown up.
But was the name already there?
what?
Was Stormwater Creek already there?
Of course it was. We've had this conversation
Ladies.
a whole bunch.
All right, Chris. Here's the rundown of why Abe's getting ribbed so much right now.
All right, hold on.
No, wait.
No,
We're gonna go back to questions. I won't talk about
Oh.
Abe anymore.
yeah, screw him. He's an idiot.
That's fine.
We all know he's kind of a dummy. Simple kicking. Who you said that's your buddy?
Simple kicking, yeah.
He asked, real
skeet
question
shooting.
here: will skeet shooting, trap shooting get me ready for duck hunting?
Yes and no.
One,
Yeah.
I think so. I
Oh,
think it helped me out a
100%.
lot.
Yes and no.
It-
Here's the deal. Here's
From
my
from
take.
my first season and practicing, going and shooting clays with Will, it
Yeah.
helped out a lot.
It helped me
It
out.
really did.
I from the second year to the third year, I shot a bunch of skeet, and it helped me out a lot getting ready for duck season.
For sure.
If you don't go out and shoot the thing that you're going to chase any quarry with, you're not going to shoot as many of that quarry as you do with.
It's pouring down rain,
Yeah,
Chasing-
yeah.
yeah.
chasing clay pigeons.
chasing clay pigeons.
But
Yeah, it is-
seriously, I mean, if you
Oh, wow,
don't
yeah.
use the weapon that you're going to
That's
use
real.
to chase whatever it is,
Yeah.
you're not going to get as many
Yeah.
what you're chasing. I
What's
mean,
your opinion on that?
The
Chris?
Practice.
ferals. The ferals.
Yeah, the
dude.
ferals.
What's y'all's opinion?
So I think it'll help you get your lead down and whatnot, but I can't go shoot skeet on a Friday and go duck hunt on a Saturday. There's got to be some time in between there for me.
Yeah.
You can duck hunt on Friday.
Yeah, Friday shoot skeet on Saturday.
Yeah, there you go.
I just from a personal standpoint, it helps me get my lead down, but it's just totally different from my perspective. And if I do try and do it close together, I'm gonna miss ducks just more than normal.
Fair enough.
Ducks.
That's exactly how I feel. Like the lead isn't the same by any means.
No,
And
I agree.
I feel especially if you buy a new gun, it gets you really. What is happening?
I don't know.
We've got this 5-year-old crawling
Why
around
didn't
on
you
the
plug
carpet
your-
right now.
We're trying to have a professional something
Because
for
you-
once.
Wait, I apologize, guys.
left the
Abe's
thing
a mess
unplugged.
today. He's had 3 beers.
I
He's out of control.
3 beers. I haven't even had that many.
Exactly.
Oh,
We're trying to give you
What a
one.
shame.
So yeah, getting comfortable with your gun and just figuring things out and putting rounds through it. Yes. As far as shooting birds, I don't know. That's why I say yes and no in my opinion.
So,
I kind of agree.
I mean,
with Chris.
maybe it's a person by person.
because the
case. I
lead.
don't
Okay,
know.
here's the deal. When I go shoot clays, you get a free throw, right? Everybody gets. to
You know
look
where
at
they're
it.
going. Yeah,
the
I got you.
first thing I'm gonna do is find the apex, and I'm gonna shoot them at the apex.
Yeah.
Shooting clays is science, not art. Like you just look like you find the place to shoot it, and that's where you put it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, but that's kind of how I roll. Ducks aren't gonna come in like I'm gonna shoot the duck right there.
Yeah, no.
Like, holy shit, there's a duck. Like, see if we can
Well,
turn it. See if
I
we
mean,
can turn it. See if
I
we
get
can
you.
turn it.
It's
But I will
definitely
say
off
this,
the cuff
if
when
you
it
wanna
comes to
shoot
duck
more
hunting.
ducks,
But I feel like it helped me kind
Right.
of
Well,
mentally
okay,
get to
correct.
that
And
point
that's
where
what
it's
I'm-
like,
And
all right,
that's
cool.
what Chris was saying.
And that's
How
what
to
I'm-
draw up.
That's where I'm agreeing with Chris is like getting used to your gun and getting used to pulling your gun and leading.
We talked about this season.
For
I had this
but-
last season. I had problems with drawing up completely to follow through and shoot,
Yeah.
and I had times where I would
Shouldering.
pull it up to just like my
Yeah.
breast, and I'd shoot, and we had a group come in, and I'm shooting, and I remember I just wasn't set up properly, and my recoil came back, and I hit myself in the lip with my shotgun.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
just
fun.
so anxious, like,
Yeah,
oh, I
yeah.
gotta shoot, you know, and practicing more shooting clays and going out, it's gotten me to, hey, draw up
Shoulder,
and set
yeah.
and shoulder properly before I'm taking a shot.
You know what got me to take better care of my shots?
Missing? Oh.
Shooting expensive shells.
Yeah, exactly.
I switched
Um,
over this season, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
once
mean,
you
that's
And
start
now
shooting
we're gonna
thir-
have Rio
Yeah,
this year,
shooting-
and yeah, I'm gonna be real picky
Very-
about shots for sure because
Well,
I
the
don't
other
want to
thing
waste
I
it.
think that helps you out as a duck hunter is just learning to let a bird come in past your comfort zone. If you're a brand new hunter, you see that bird, whatever you think, let it come in further. And as the closer that bird can get to you, the easier you're gonna have a chance of getting it down and killed. I think
Sky blasting is your enemy.
Sky blasting is not a fun thing to do, and as
Not
soon as
unless
you
you
can,
fall
It's
over
fun.
and you're
No, it's
pissed,
fun.
Yeah.
Don't get
'cause
me
your
wrong.
friend
It's
gets
fun.
this
Yeah.
big
But it's not
old
your friend.
mallard and you fall down.
Hands down, the biggest mistake duck hunters make is not waiting long enough.
yeah.
Exactly.
100%.
And turkey hunters.
Yeah.
So we,
We got,
anybody's like, who's this lovely lady? This is
couple-
the lovely Annie Farrell, who is
Yeah.
a biologist for the National Wild Turkey Federation. So
Yeah.
That's a smart ass household.
that is a smart ass household. They know how deer and turkey work.
And
very
otters
well.
there.
And Otter is there.
future duck dog.
Future duck dog.
And we're over here with Abe Bullman. Jesus Christ.
Well, you know, we,
Who is also an otter.
If you know what that is, look it up in
Zinger.
Urban
Yeah.
Dictionary.
Urban Dictionary otter. So how did the
For Chris, real quick,
Okay.
one more question.
Yeah.
Also, will you please re-explain how the spring rains determine the quality of birds in the fall?
spring rains, if they stick around, it's not going to determine the quality of the birds. It will determine the quality of the deer.
Sure.
Yep.
Because there's more for the deer to eat out there, therefore healthier, more protein, whatnot. As far as ducks go, if we've got some local ducks, the spring rains will help with brood rearing. But past that, most of our ducks are, migrating, so they're going to be up north right now, raising their broods up there. So our spring rains don't really help. The spring rains up north help
Makes sense.
by providing more water and forage for the ducks.
if you had your way, if you could have the perfect setup to a duck season, what would kind of the weather patterns be for the rest of the year up until November? Or I guess September if you're a teal hunter.
I don't hunt teal because I don't like competing with
Mosquitoes will
Yep.
hunt you.
but a hot, dry summer probably, and then we get some rain because the old Sabine bottom will fill up. This is just a selfish standpoint.
Yeah.
Sabine bottom will fill up. Nowhere else has water, and then the ducks would pour into the old Sabine bottom. For just a good duck season, I would say summer doesn't really matter, but a moderately wet summer or average summer. And then when the rains do come, it's not an overabundance of rain and there's not an overabundance of water on the landscape.
Okay.
And, we've got pools of water, just kind of an average year, but then it needs to get cold up north to push the ducks down. Last year driving through Wyoming or on my way to Wyoming, we saw ducks clear all the way up there. And nothing had frozen over. 2 years ago, going to Wyoming in December, like there was open water all over Colorado with ducks and geese just piled up there, and nothing moved south.
They're just gonna stop.
That what do they call it? The winter polar vortex
Polar
to
vortex.
push them down.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Sorry, Midwest. We need you to be under a blanket of snow, and a blanket of
Immediately.
ice.
Screw all y'all.
Starting in August.
Yeah.
It should start snowing in
We're
August.
kind of going for the second ice age. here.
Yeah, exactly. We really want the second
That
coming
would
of the
be
ice
ideal.
age. We could
Such
have
a
a glacier
but-
slide down into about Kansas. That'd be great.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for. So turkeys, how did the kind of just from we haven't talked to you since turkey season wrapped up. What was kind of what's your wrap up of the turkey season, Annie?
How do turkeys? Let's back it up one notch and 30,000 foot view. How do turkey populations and stuff look right now?
Turkey populations are kind of on the decline. And with the pandemic hitting right before turkey season started, there was a huge uptick in harvest or hunter pressure. And so harvest is definitely trending up from previous years. In Texas, our easterns, we don't have a really good way to gauge how Rios went, but except for non-resident tags. And so there weren't near as many non-resident tags that were sold for Rios, but for easterns, harvest was about average. So I think it was up from last year, but 2018 was higher. So Texas was pretty average, but I know across the rest of the Southeast, there was a lot of harvest pressure and the harvest was definitely up.
Mississippi and Alabama harvested 150% of what they normally do.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So they got waxed.
No one had anything else to do, so they were like, let's
Yeah, I
go
was gonna say,
food.
For sure.
I was thinking that this would the whole thing would cause a decline in applications for out west, and it worked completely the opposite. Everybody was bored at home going, well, let's figure out how to put in tags.
I'll put in for
Yeah.
elk.
Yeah, exactly. It's raining out there.
We found out yesterday we're not going pronghorn hunting in Wyoming this year.
Oh no.
oh no.
And
Abe drew elk in
100% draw odds last year, had 1,300 applicants this year. So
Oh wow.
Jane.
yeah.
No stage maggots for you guys, huh?
No.
You got lucky though, didn't you, Abe?
I drew an elk tag in Oklahoma at the Wichita Mountain National Wildlife Refuge. So
For Kizau.
yeah, it's a cow tag, which I'm super pumped about.
Yeah,
Just-
Still
I'm-
awesome.
Neat.
yeah,
Dude, meat hunt.
it's a
Awesome.
like 60% success odds or something
Well,
like that for cows.
Either keep
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Euro that or pull the ivories at least.
That's
It'll be cool
exactly what I
shit,
plan
man.
on doing: pulling ivories and euro in the skull. Now,
And eat
here's the
shit
thing:
out of it.
if you get lucky enough to
shit out
draw
of
a bull tag there, it is like literally 90 to 100% success odds.
Success
Sex?
rate.
Success rate. Success rate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can get lucky enough to draw an Oklahoma elk tag for the Wichita National Wildlife Refuge, you will kill an elk. It's crazy,
Probably.
but most everybody goes out there like it's just
Gracias.
that's the only way they control the population for those elks is through those controlled hunts. And it's I mean, it's very difficult to draw that tag. The good
I'm
thing is
so upset because I remember I was talking about it. And I was like,
I told everybody about it this
I should
year.
have put in. I
Yeah.
mean, that doesn't mean I would have drawn, but at least
Yeah.
like
It's a super easy tag to
on
put
you.
in for. Oklahoma's got a pretty good website for their.
no, it doesn't. It's garbage.
Really?
It really is.
What's the big
I
one?
don't have a hard time navigating at all.
New Mexico has a good website.
Oh,
We're gonna
yeah?
try to do Richland again this year. You
For
guys
sure.
are.
We will put in for every single Texas Parks and Wildlife waterfowl hunt, as well as multiple
Yeah.
deer hunts. I put in for. I
You should put in for everything because
What do y'all?
I'm
the
a Texan.
ferals, What,
Yeah.
what do y'all put it for
Yeah.
as far as Texas draws?
Well, a lot of the WMA hunts overlap with hunts I have to work in my WMA.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of look at that and see which ones we want to put in for. And then we'll do all of the turkeys with the exception of the Easterns because we really don't want to shoot an Eastern in East Texas.
Yeah. Just
Mm.
let them grow.
Yeah. And
How
then do some waterfowl hunts. I really want to draw a waterfowl hunt further west where the ducks don't really have a choice of where to go.
Prairie
And then
pothole.
you can get a lot of different species that way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to going a little west this year and
Absolutely.
exploring some cool
We got a
new
couple
areas.
of leads.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do. We have some cool public land spots. We're going to go chase ducks out west, and we're going to expand our footprint from Tawakoni in the east to Tawakoni Junior and Tawakoni the Third
Tawakoni 2.0.
and 3.21 I don't know, whatever we want to call them.
Tawakoni 4, The New Hope.
Chasing
The New Hope,
Tawakoni.
Chasing Tawakoni. So it'll be,
Tawakoni 6, Return of the Tawakoni.
yeah, exactly. Just
Re-
T-Walk.
Revenge of the
Tawakoni 7,
Tawakoni.
Revenge of the Tawakoni.
We don't actually.
I think that should be a T-shirt.
Nerds.
Tawakoni 7.
You nerds.
Nerds. Yeah, Tawakoni 7, Revenge of the Tawakoni. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a good year. I'm super pumped. I feel like we finally figured out how to scout for ducks really effectively, which has been a challenge in and of itself. So,
It's not really a new question, Jeff.
no,
Everyone's
Somebody
coming.
asked about pig hunting Quinlan, Texas, and
they're
I
there.
mean that's pretty generic. Like,
Yeah,
find a pig and shoot the pig.
they're there. They're there.
Yeah, put out a feeder, put out some pig bait, and sit there a long time.
They'll be
They'll be
there.
there eventually.
hmm
They'll show
Yeah.
up.
Think
Did,
Nope.
did you hear about our most recent pig incident?
No.
Oh.
Are we gonna relive this on every
Abs-
guest?
Absolutely.
Everyone needs to hear
no,
this story.
dude,
We
I
need
mean,
to spread the word.
Yeah, we're not going to relive it with Merriweather. The Chris will feel our pain.
Yeah.
So we built a pig trap, threw up a little 5-gallon feeder on a tree. We had a ton of pigs moving at a property you have access to, a piece of private. They were really bothered by it, as they should be. Like, all right, yeah, we'll throw up a pig trap. We go buy some hog panels, some T-posts, and we put some effort into this. Us four got out there and like thought this through and laid
We
things
spent a
out.
day out there
We
getting
spent
it
a day
together.
out there
Yeah.
and got this done the right way, and then did some bass fishing. And it's been a month and a half, 2 months of when we put all manner of attractant. We have deer on the regular. I mean, I know where I'm going to kill a doe the first day of bow season. We got raccoons like there's no tomorrow. There's red cardinals that are really pretty. We hadn't seen a damn pig save our life. Well, Wednesday morning, the cell camera freaks out, and we've got 3 big pigs in the trap, and they look big. So I like, all right, that's solid pig, right? Awesome. I blow these guys' phones up like, oh my God, tonight after work, we're going to the farm. We gotta take these pigs out. Like, awesome. We spent our day just we're all working. We're texting back and forth. Like, can't wait. Like, let's go put a round in these pigs' heads. We're gonna cut them up, and it's gonna be awesome. We finally caught some pigs. Abe gets out there, first one out there about 6:30, 6:45. Well, they took a piece of hog panel and put it on a 45 and pushed it out of the trap.
I believe it.
So
They weren't even that big.
they weren't that small.
They
So
weren't-
we needed one more T-post. It was a squeeze trap. I'm sure you've gathered by now.
Yeah.
So we should have put one more post right about here because that was probably where the bend was at. I don't think they could have made the bend otherwise.
Yeah.
So right now we unbent it and it's wired open and there's a ton of attractant and I mean we're going for round 2.
What should we do differently?
Yeah. What should we do
Those-
different? Or is this just like pigs be pigs?
Yeah. I would do more T-post. We did the squeeze trap for a while, and unless you can go there pretty regularly, because you want to prop the door open, and then you want to slowly make it tighter and tighter where they're used to that hog panel squeezing on them as they go in. You talking about like a heart-shaped trap?
It's round with 2 scrapers. So
Yeah.
it'll come in, yeah. So I mean, I could see heart shape, yes.
Yeah. Either that or invest in a good door.
Abe built a guillotine trap,
Yeah.
and we hadn't installed it, so we're probably going to end up going out there. We're going to plant 2 more T-posts, and one side's going to be a guillotine, one side's going to be a squeeze, and we'll run the trigger way back right by the feeder where the corn drops.
Yeah.
So we got plans. They'll be back, and my wife was like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry." I was like, "I didn't miss a buck. I didn't miss a bull elk. A pig bent a hog panel." So we went,
That's okay.
we opened a beer, fixed the hog panel, and went bass fishing.
Yeah.
And
Like-
caught no fish.
Yeah, like
And caught no fish.
Caught no
at,
fish.
at the one place we can always catch fish.
Yeah.
So
so
I imagine you'll get another chance at a pig.
I
agree.
I kind of bet we will.
I'm ready.
I agree. It was so disappointing because I was so looking
I
forward.
thought you were
to-
messing with me too. You called me. I'm like 10 minutes down the road, and you're just like, they got out. I'm like, oh, shut up, whatever.
I 100%
No, dude,
believe
they
you,
got out.
Yeah.
because I understand pigs.
I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't do
I
that
hit the
to you.
gas, dude. I got out there as
Bullshit.
fast as I could.
No, I wouldn't do that. That's messed
Jared's
up,
never,
Jared.
Jared's never killed a pig. To me, I was like, I
Yeah.
100% believe Abe
I'm ready.
because I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to lie to me. It's a pig.
No.
My mind is ready.
There's
Yeah.
a reason to lie to Jared to church him up.
They got out of the cage. The trap.
terrible.
I
Terrible.
believed you.
Don't worry. I bet you'll find one soon.
Oh yeah,
I'm-
yeah. We're
Oh,
gonna
I
figure it
mean,
out.
we went out to Austin's lease a couple weekends ago, and me and my girlfriend were sitting in the blind, and a group of three
She could
come
be
in.
your fiance, but that's neither here nor there.
We'll talk about that's. We're not gonna
Yeah.
talk about this.
Whoa.
Wow, way to get weird.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the 100th episode. We got to cover all bases.
We're
Yeah.
sitting in the
Not
blind.
so nice when the spotlight's on your ass, is it?
Listen, chasing carnivore, leave me alone. Chase your ass downstairs. Anyways, group of three comes
Gross.
in, and I overthink it, and I'm like waiting for the perfect shot when I really just should have taken a shot and shot one. Well, they would have ran off and died. That's fine. They run off, and then me and Steph are sitting there. You know, of course, we're sitting in the blind for a couple hours, and she's just like, "Shut up!" And I'm like, "What?" And I look over, and there's massive hog over on her side, and she takes one shot with Austin's AR, and she just shoots once, and it stands there for a second, and then runs off. And I was like, "Why didn't you shoot again?" She's like, "I don't know, I froze." And it's her first time hunting at all.
It's like second time. Her first time shooting a gun was like
Right.
3 hours prior.
So I was proud of
Oh,
her for
no.
at
So
least
yeah.
taking the shot
So it's
for sure.
It's understandable.
did great.
It's fine,
100%.
It's fine.
And so yeah, it was just. I
If
mean,
Abe would have done that, I would have kicked him in the teeth.
Lauren shot a pig. What, 30 minutes after being in the blind? She
Yeah.
was at a different
She's
spot.
like, I shot a pig. I was like, no, you didn't. That's my wife. I was like, no, you didn't. Because half time she wants to sit in a different blind.
Oh yeah, we all thought it was BS.
Yeah,
And
she was
she
like, I'm
finally
not-
sent a
She
picture.
was
We're like,
I
oh
wanna- I
wow,
wanna
you
sit in a
did
different
shoot a
blind
pig.
than you. I was like, that's fine. Spread the well.
It'll
Let's
happen
Figure this
eventually.
out. She's like, I shot a pig. I was like, no, you didn't.
I'm gonna shoot a pig.
She's like, I was like, take a picture through your binoculars, but
Eventually.
you didn't shoot a pig. And
Yes.
she's a picture. I was like, heck,
Yeah,
you
she
shot,
shot
a
a
pig.
You did it. You did it. Yeah. We went out that weekend and took two brand new hunters out, and we took them out hunting and had the first guy stock up, had your night vision, and this kid lost his mind. He shot that pig, and we just heard it squeal, and and it squealed and didn't move. The sound didn't move, so I was like, "That's a dead pig." Plus, you heard that thud you get, and he just came back. He was like, "This is the coolest gun ever."
Come on.
And we've got a dog coming in here.
The
Max
dog.
is joining the group.
Maximilian.
We got a dog. We got a guy. His first pig. He had such a good time cutting that pig up, and I think that was as much fun for me getting to have him shoot his first pig than I don't know who was more excited, me or him. So
Dude, taking people out to shoot
The
their
best.
first pig or first animal in general,
yeah,
I get probably more pumped than you. Like, yeah, you shot it, you killed it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, awesome. I get to cut up a pig now.
yeah,
Like,
Pig
cool.
is the perfect first animal because like if you screw it up, you know there's more.
And
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
who cares?
Eh.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
want to sound crass, but the ethics on pigs are very questionable.
yeah.
Like,
Well, it's like yeah,
it's trash in a sense. Like there's more than enough. They're a problem. They're very edible. But you plug one in when it doesn't die right in front of you. Like meh.
Worse things have occurred.
We'll find another one.
Yeah,
You shoot at a deer and know you put a hole in it. You feel real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a
You
worse
go-
feeling.
You go, oh god, gut wrenching. A pig, it's like cool. I'm gonna go. My motto is, it's got 50 yards.
Yeah.
If I can't, and it's or brush starts. If I can't walk to it with a beer in hand, the pig don't exist anymore.
It's
it's
Yeah,
somewhere.
it's someone
somewhere
else's.
else.
it's with God now.
Yeah. Sweet baby
It's
Jesus,
the
go
sweet baby
pig.
Jesus. Yeah. Deer is definitely the worst thing to lose. Like I cannot stand to lose a deer.
Any ungulate. I mean, I guess pigs. Are
I mean, I would say
any-
the
any-
same thing would happen if I mean, obviously
Oh.
the gut wrenching feeling I would have if I
Who's
shot
joining?
an elk.
Who's
Um,
joining?
I think that is our great friend, the Merriweather.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I've
so-
got no stance on deer. I haven't hunted deer yet.
Yeah.
So
it's yeah. but when you shoot one and it runs off, it's terrible.
Oh
I
god,
bet.
It's terrible.
It is a bummer.
Yeah.
it's the worst. Meriwether's freezing up, but that kind of gives us a 5-10 minute notice.
Yeah.
The Ferals.
What else?
What's your closing remarks?
Yeah. What's the good word?
And thanks for having us on for your 100th episode. We're honored.
No doubt. We're looking forward to having you guys on more as usual.
From
as
as little as we are, we always appreciate your
I know.
attendance, your input, your friendship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cheers. Thank you so
Cheers to
much.
you guys,
for
yeah,
100
for
Cheers to
episodes.
you guys.
Thanks, dudes.
Yeah.
Putting up with us and
Yeah.
your knowledge.
My random questions of
Yeah,
like,
you've
hey,
got- you bring so much to the table, and we're just very
Yeah.
grateful.
we super appreciate it.
It's nice that our knowledge is appreciated.
Yeah.
It is.
Very
It is very
appreciated.
appreciated. So,
Very
For
appreciated.
closing remarks, I'd say pack it in, pack it out.
100%.
Yeah.
And support your favorite nonprofit organization.
NWTF.
So
yeah.
here.
Here. Find out when they're gonna start throwing those cool banquets again, and then go buy a ticket and go
Yeah.
buy a membership.
Absolutely.
We have a couple banquets that are starting up. We've gotten the go ahead to go ahead and have some events. So just check
Word.
the NWTF website.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to some of those soon
Oh,
because
no.
it's going to be fun to get out and try my luck
See,
at
see
some-
our people again.
Yeah.
play
And some raffles.
support
Some
You just want to get in
raffles.
some raffles.
I do want to get in some
Sure.
raffles. You know,
The gun vault is still open if y'all want to buy some more guns. So they add new guns every Wednesday to the gun vault.
okay.
I
I like
bought
that.
one. I mean,
He did. He bought one.
Good for you.
we super appreciate it, and thank you guys for joining us once again, and it's good to see Otter.
Until next time, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think
Well, thanks
everybody-
for having us.
this is our friend Meriwether.
Yeah,
Meriwether, this
Our
is
good
the
friend Mark,
Ferals.
yeah.
She's a National Wild Turkey Federation biologist, and Chris is a TPWD biologist. We all can get along very well.
yeah.
Cool.
Mark knows what plants you can eat, and not die.
This is true.
Good skill.
Or if you want to kill someone, what plants to
Or-
use for
I
that too?
guess that's also you could use those
Yeah.
powers for evil.
Yeah.
Everyone here would get along very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very well.
Well, it's if you guys want to hang out, you're more than welcome to hang out. If you want to go, watch TV,
Continue
or,
your evening.
continue your evening, and not be held hostage by the Stormwater Creek podcast, then you're more than
all right.
welcome.
Well, y'all take care. We'll talk to you later.
Thank
Later,
you
guys.
Later.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Hi.
Mark. What's up, man? Thanks for joining the 100th episode.
Hey,
Thanks, Chris.
pleasure to be here. I'm assuming you're talking to me, but it could
I
just
am,
be
yeah,
my, okay. I just assume when I walk in the room, everyone will, no, anyway.
That's the way to go, right? Assume.
Yeah, be
Yeah.
big, be bold, eat plants, and then swing by Whataburger when you're done.
Oh,
100%.
Yes.
Never go wrong.
It's funny how many people think I'm a vegan. It's like, no,
No,
no.
I just like green
Yeah,
food.
plants are just cool.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
your knowledge of
And
plants,
delicious.
we love having you on because it's just so informative.
Yeah.
And
I think-
I mean, this is our second round, correct?
Yeah.
There was
Mhm.
one scheduled that kind of fell through, but man, we've talked to everyone since the first round of like,
Yeah.
I
Holy
think
crap.
we all can agree that was our top 5.
No doubt.
No question.
Cool.
Podcast, just man, you're the best. Your knowledge is unbelievable. We want to learn from you. We want you to mentor us in foraging. I think I can
Okay.
fairly well speak for
Yeah.
the group.
Cool.
Man, good to see you again.
You should be
Good to
happy
be here.
That's a great intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good. That was a good job.
Yeah.
After 100
Yeah.
episodes, you've got this figured out.
100 times, yay!
Chasing intro.
Chasing intro.
Now I have to live up to it, though, is
Yeah.
the problem.
This is my next. This is the thing for the next
I
month.
have
Chasing
I have
everything.
complete faith in you, my friend. So
Oh.
and it's nice to be able to see you. Last time we just did this over the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
man.
you get to see
It's
my studio.
Yeah.
And everybody's become so Zoom oriented with the
With the
pan-
COVID.
with the thing.
Yep.
Thing.
What have you been up
Yeah.
to, man?
Oh man. So the cool news since the last time we talked, because that was back in the fall, wasn't it? Or
Yeah.
yeah. So I have been working for a company doing consumer goods. I guess just a little background for those out there. My day job is I'm a chemist. So sorry, a bug just flew by. Not a research chemist, but a commercial product formulation chemist. I used to do research, but after 18 years in the oil industry doing chemicals for them, I moved into consumer goods, doing everything from paint strippers to skincare products. And then in January, I joined two other guys and we started up the Medicine Man Plant Company, where I am doing herbal supplements for
Nice, okay.
basically ancient plants for modern issues. So, and then COVID hit and screwed all that up. So we actually don't have any products out on the shelves yet, but we're getting closer.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I'm finally putting my herbal knowledge to actual use
That's awesome.
rather than walking around with people in the woods, showing them what they can use to treat, issues. Now they can actually buy them from me. So that's cool.
That's really
Word
neat.
up.
A lot easier.
Yeah. So what are there anything that are going to hit the shelves soon, or anything you can talk about? Or?
Yeah. So the first round, there are five products we're making. The immune pill, which is a mixture of elderberry and echinacea, cordyceps mushrooms, and this plant called Self Heal or Heals All. And it's to help maintain and strengthen the immune system. It seems kind of a good thing right now. There is the brain pill, which is a mixture of lion's mane, mushroom, sage, and ginkgo, which all have really powerful effects on acuity, cognitive function, apparently not vocalization though, and alertness.
Do we have something for that for Abe?
Yeah.
Amy
Soon, very
Yeah.
soon.
Abe
Yeah.
don't know talking good.
And then another one is the liver pill
We all need
to,
that.
to
Exactly.
counteract the
Please.
yeah. So to maintain a healthy liver. There is the blood pressure pill for people who are right on that borderline area that the doctor's saying, you're kind of, so to help with that.
Yeah.
And then because we actually need one that will make a lot of money, hopefully, is the male libido pill.
Oh yeah.
There's a number of, apparently this has been a problem. That's been an issue for a long
Put a
time.
quarter in. You get a pill.
Like
So-
the natural version of horny goat weed.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
I like that. That's
But
Word.
they're usually it's a mixture of 3 to 4 plants that have been picked to work together for maximum, work. So
potency.
I will say that the libido pill, along with its, stated powers and effects, it's also really good if you to take just before a workout, because a lot of the things it affects endurance and overall strength.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
double feature.
I want to grab this
Virility.
question just real quick.
Virility,
I'm not sure who this question's for. Jake's asking, is there something I can plant that ducks will eat, but my
I
cow
think that-
won't?
I
I
think
think
that was
that
for
might have been
Chris.
for Chris.
Yeah.
But we do have
Austin's
another question that's applicable. What part/extract of the ginkgo is used?
Okay, in our case, we're using the entire leaf that's been freeze dried and powdered. So the ginkgo, it's the leaf that has the most brain medicine. Basically, what it does, and there's research to support this, but the FDA still says we don't quite buy into it. But 10,000 years of experience, counts for something. The ginkgo in particular helps increase the flow of blood to the brain. So it's a long history of using the leaves of the ginkgo as a tea to, increase the flow of blood to the brain, which brings more oxygen and more sugar to the brain, the two things you need to do a lot of thinking. So, but yeah, I have a tendency to give long answers for real easy, short questions.
You're good.
We super appreciate that, because if you give us too much leeway, we're gonna find a rabbit trail or some nonsense to talk about. So we would
Which is also fun.
It is. But we appreciate your knowledge more than our nonsense. So
Oh.
we appreciate your long answers more
Okay.
than anything.
Yeah.
You're a lot smarter than all of us.
By leaps and bounds. leaps and bounds.
We all make
Big knowledge.
mistakes.
Chasing knowledge.
What else? Did we have any Instagram questions?
So as far as kind of where, we talked about a lot of stuff kind of as the fall, but where we sit right now in time, June 19th, what is really going on out in the woods right now that we can go out and kind of take full advantage of if you were going to go out and forage right now, what are you going out to
Okay.
go find?
Yeah, if we went and if all four of us jumped on the boat or somewhere and went squirreling around the swamps or just near water, because that's in my
Where we
mind
spend most of the
kinda-
amount of time, yeah.
kind of
All right.
we're there, and I feel like there's more plant diversity there. I could be wrong. What are we looking for?
Okay, so you just opened a wonderful rabbit warren for me to go digging down into. So this is going to be a long
Better than us.
answer.
Better than us.
First off, okay, I just have to. Okay, the beer. So when you started, you said, where in the woods, or what would I find in the woods? Let's start by talking about the biggest misconception of where the edible plants are, the wild edible plants are. They're not in the woods. The most woods, it's a very static environment. The amount of sunlight, it's always shady. The humidity is always fairly constant because the sun isn't evaporating the water from the soil. So long story short, it's a very static environment because the environment isn't changing much. So the plant diversity is actually quite low. Where the highest plant diversity is at borders. So you mentioned along the water's edge. Yeah, so where woods meets water, where field meets water, where field meets wood, where golf course meets rough area, those border areas, the amount of sunlight is constantly changing, the humidity, the wind, everything is changing. So what's good growing conditions for a plant 1 week will have changed, and a new plant will be better suited for that same area. I tell people to think about this collection of plants as each plant is an organ for this, a greater body. So you got the eyeballs, you got the lungs, you got the spleen, you got the, whatever, the liver, the endocrine system, things like that. For that ecosystem to be healthy, you need to have a certain number of these plants doing that job. So in the woods, it doesn't take many plants because the same plant can do it, especially in Texas, pretty much all year round. But out in the border areas in the sun and the shade and all that, you need a much higher plant diversity. So where you find, where there's more plants, you're more likely to find edible plants or medicinal plants. So just, law of averages there.
That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah,
Border areas, for sure.
Also, remember, we've been eating these plants before we were Homo sapiens. We, from the Neanderthal and all this. And so there really has been a co-mingling between us and the plants. Even though we weren't actively planting them, humans have an effect on the ecosystem around them. And the effect, the plants that could best deal with our effects to the ecosystem were the ones that would reproduce and keep going. And so almost through natural selection, a lot of the plants that survived around us were edible plants. So I actually had a farther trail for this to go, but I managed to lose myself already.
Oh no.
Welcome to Stormwater Creek.
Yeah,
Take
no,
those
you're good.
trails.
Okay. But yeah, okay. So all right. So what's to look for right now? So first off, don't go out in the woods. There's a few things right now. The main thing you would find out in the woods are the greenbrier vines. If you know those big thorny vines like in East Texas, if you pull them down and follow the end to the very end, if you've ever harvested asparagus where you grab it and just pull and whatever snaps off from the asparagus plant, that's what you eat. Same with the greenbrier. You follow the greenbrier to the end, grab it, pull, whatever breaks off is tender enough to eat. You can eat it raw. It's really good that way. You can grill it. You can basically treat it like asparagus. The nice thing about it, it tastes more or less like asparagus, but it lacks the one chemical that makes most people have kind of a stinky pee, after eating asparagus.
Yeah, that's great.
So I do. It's great asparagus when you're going out on a date sort of thing.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the asparagus funky smell thing going on.
Stinky
That's
pee,
awesome.
man. It happens.
So right down to where it meets the dirt, pull that up.
No. Go to the other end. Go to
The other end,
the
okay.
newing growth. Yeah, the new growth. So, and then just again, what I think is a fascinating fact. So plants are extremely lazy. If they don't have to do something, they're not going to do something. If they don't have to spend energy, they're not going to spend energy. So greenbrier, normally when you see it, it's all covered with thorns. It's that thorny vine. Some people call it the blasphemy vine because they get tangled up in it, start swearing. But if you actually follow it, you'll see those thorns only go up about 9 feet. After that, there are no more thorns because there was never an herbivore in North America that could reach above 9 feet. So the plant figured out, I don't need the thorns up here. So it's, just one of those fascinating,
That's
if you're a
kinda-
plant nerd, it's a fascinating fact.
Oh, that is.
I just think-
I think it's
So,
for any a true outdoorsman. I think that's
yeah.
fascinating.
So
Yeah,
that's why, you can follow it at the end, you're good to go. Also in the woods right now, okay, so there's wood sorrel, the 3-leaf clover. It's not a clover, but it has 3 heart-shaped leaves. So a lot of people mistake it for a clover, but that has a wonderful tangy, lemony sort of flavor. And then right along the edges of the woods, there's a good chance, especially like starting in the Houston area and heading kind of east or north, you're likely to run into shiso. If you ever go out for Thai food, they have that clump of mint sitting on your plate. Sorry, my daughter just made a weird screaming sound. I don't think she realizes. We can hear.
Heck, if you need-
I'm on live. Okay.
You're fine.
Anyway, so this mint has gone rogue in Texas. It's found that it really likes growing here, so it's become an invasive weed across a great deal of central and eastern Texas. But it tastes delicious, so that's good. But in the more disturbed areas, you're likely right now to find wild carrots. The flower blossoms of the wild carrots in particular have almost a sweet sort of flavor. You can make a jelly out of them, or you can just use them, sprinkle them. Like I like to just take a can of pre-cooked chicken and some tortillas out with me, and then whatever I find, throw in there and make kind of a wrap out of it. But the flowers from the Queen Anne's lace or wild carrot are good for that. The problem is the really poisonous hemlock often grows right in the same area as the wild carrot. So you got to make sure you don't confuse the two. If you go to the Foraging Texas website, I have side-by-side pictures and you can see all the different little details you need to observe to make sure you don't accidentally kill yourself or purposely kill someone else. Because like we discussed earlier, that murder is bad. Don't murder.
We'll throw in a free plug right now.
Oh.
Go buy his book, everyone who's listening.
It's so good.
Go to the Foraging Texas website. That book's sitting in my living room right now.
Oops,
Yep.
yeah, it's
Just
backwards here.
directly below us.
Mhm.
Go to the Foraging Texas website, click the Amazon link, support our friend Mark. It's an unbelievable resource.
I will say the way the Idiot's Guide works is they find an idiot to write a book. I don't actually get any royalties from this. I got a one-time paycheck, but then nothing after that. That being said, it's the 3rd best-selling Idiot's Guide ever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but again, I get nothing. But if you buy it from my link from Amazon, so the link on the website goes to Amazon, I get 74 cents.
Yeah, so
So-
help a friend out.
That's awesome. Yeah, that helps me.
Yeah.
One quick question we got on YouTube comments. Most of us live up here, DFW area, spanning from North Fort Worth to let's say Southeast Dallas.
Okay.
Can we find elderberries? Right now we're 4 miles from the western side of Lake Grapevine, and we duck hunt all the way to Lake Tawakoni. So in this vicinity, can we find elderberry?
Okay, so I'm going to plug my website again. If you go to the elderberry post on the Foraging Texas, it actually has a map of Texas that shows all the counties. Each plant has this, but it shows all the different counties that it's been found in. And I will say these maps are created by government workers, so the accuracy isn't, is as accurate as anything else the government does. That being said, wait, what's that helicopter? But
I just heard a beep on the line. I think that means they're listening.
okay, that wouldn't be the first.
Oh, I gotta go.
So looking at the map there, there are some counties around you that it's recorded being found, which suggests there's a chance. Where you would look for it is next to slow moving water. So either still water or very slow moving water, and in sunny areas or partial shade. But the elderberry likes a lot of sun and a lot of water. It's a very fast growing plant. So it requires the sunlight to do the photosynthesis to turn the carbon dioxide, sugar, blah, blah, blah. And then the water to fuel that too. But
you're-
look in wet areas like on the south sides of lakes and streams in particular, or on the east side, so it gets the afternoon western sun.
If
It's
you're on
more
that
likely to
website
do
right
that.
now, can you click on Marion County out near Jefferson?
Let's see, can I bring this up
I
just a
feel
minute?
like that could be applicable, and we have some property out there we can have access.
Oops, let's see, Marion.
I would love to collect some elderberry.
I'm trying to think, where is Marion County?
Hard 100 miles from the border.
Okay, we have 4 borders, well, 3.
100 miles from the Louisiana
It's-
border.
Okay.
In between 20 and 30.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, according to the USDA, elderberry is found there in Marion County. So it's found in Bowie, Gass, Marion, Norris, Shelby, the east.
Elderberry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so slow moving water, that would be down by that slough and down there.
Chasing
Yeah.
But the canopy's kind of heavy. We could find it.
Yeah. So if it's a heavy canopy, look for it on the east side. So usually you can get the afternoon sunlight
Okay.
from over the water.
Okay.
Cool.
Elderberry.
All right.
I mean, elderberry liqueur is awesome. Elderberry in general is just delicious.
Elderberry.
I would love to find some natural and do it myself.
Yeah.
What
I'll
did
tell
you?
you that the elderberry syrup is really easy to do.
So easy. It's so
Yeah.
delicious.
Yep. That's
I
what I
made
did.
it this past weekend. I had a buddy, and inspired by you, all credit given. A buddy gave me a whole grip of honeysuckle, and
Ooh.
I did some honeysuckle infused sugar and did
Mhm.
honeysuckle bread pudding this weekend.
Ooh. I'm not a big fan of bread pudding, but a honeysuckle bread pudding, that could be good.
It was. I don't know.
Where's the bread pudding at?
I can make another batch.
Where's it?
It was good.
What?
I don't know how much honeysuckle was infused into the sugar.
Hmm.
The bread pudding was great. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to ask. So I took petals and blossoms, packed them in sugar, left them for a while, then spread them thin on a baking sheet and dried them out a little bit because they got a little clumpy, and then stored it in a gallon bag. Did I do anything wrong?
Okay.
What can I do to increase that honeysuckle so there's
Okay, so if you are making a flour infused sugar, so and honeysuckle works, horsemint works, lemon bee balm works, dewberry, blackberry flowers work, a bunch of really any flower that has a strong fragrance. Agarita works. So you get yourself a quart jar. I don't have any here. But then put just a 1/4 inch of sugar, and then about a 1/2 inch of flowers and a 1/4 inch of sugar, and just keep repeating that until you've pretty much capped it, or filled the jar. Cap it, set it in your windowsill, especially on a south facing window, where just the natural light will kind of heat it up some, but not bake it. But the fragrance will diffuse off the leaves or off the flowers onto the sugar. And give it at least a day and a half. Do not give it more than 3 days.
Oh, that was a huge mistake then.
Yeah, because after 3 days, there's enough moisture in the flowers that you can start getting some mildew and funky things going on that will put some off flavors in it. But, 2.5 days, 3 days tops, but 2.5 is better. Use a colander to separate the flowers out from the sugar, and then just pack the sugars back in a jar, and now keep it in a cool, dry, dark area.
Okay, so quart jar sugar, flowers, right?
Yeah, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch.
Cover, yeah. Oh, you layer it?
Yeah.
1/2
yeah.
inch, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch. Okay, perfect. Cellophane, cover it? No, cover it?
Cover it.
Okay.
Regular
I
mason
did
jar
cover it.
cap.
I left it way longer than 3 days.
3 days.
I left it
Yeah, if you go more than 3 days, all sorts of funky stuff is,
Yeah,
probably a good thing you didn't.
I guess I guess I didn't. I guess, knock on wood, I got real lucky because I definitely didn't get mold or mildew or anything funky.
Okay.
It smelled good. Everything's fine, but I just definitely didn't notice any of the perfume I wanted.
Okay, I bet I know what happened. So you mix the sugar in and then baked the bread pudding, right?
Yeah, but I mean the sugar in itself, like
Even by itself? Okay.
But continue. What were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, so the fragrance are volatile oils.
Mhm.
So the heat will drive them off. That's why it's best to use it in cold items.
Yeah,
mixed with your milk and Cheerios.
Between drying the sugar out and baking the bread pudding, I cooked it all up.
Yeah, and like leaving it set out on the coffee sheet, even that will cause some of it evaporate away.
Good to know.
So you want to
the
cap
steak
it
here.
once you take the flours out. You want to cap that thing and keep it capped only until you're taking what you need out, and then mixing that with tea or on your Cheerios, breakfast or something like that.
Okay.
Any sort of baking will drive the flour or the flavor off, and any sort of just leaving it sit there, it will evaporate off too.
I want to use it for now that I understand the chemistry behind it, thanks to you. I want to use it to make a really lighter whiskey. I've got a few that are not super heavy bodied, not super aggressive. I want to make a honeysuckle old fashioned, but I'm gonna need, it will need to be
I'm
a
interested in
lighter
this.
whiskey
Yeah, me
and
too.
fresh. So, but we will 100% reevaluate this now that I understand more, and I appreciate all the advice. I definitely screwed this up royally, but it's fine.
It
Bread
happens.
pudding is good.
Stormwater Creek.
Hey,
Yeah, pudding is good.
Yeah, it was
Chasing-
fun.
Chasing Stormwater Creek.
No, stop it.
All right. Well, this is where Abe's gonna sign off, guys.
Yeah.
And we've fired him.
Well,
Abe-
yeah,
Abe's had
it's
enough.
okay. I'm gonna take my toys and go home.
Just what else is there? Any
My
comments?
cooler.
No,
Well,
I don't know,
the
we
one
got
thing I
anything
want to
else?
know, because I got a lot of comments, was our conversation about taking acorns and
Mhm.
making a flour,
Yes.
and then cooking squirrels in that
Mm.
flour. So I would love to revisit that recipe from
My
you.
wife tried. I'm gonna say this.
Okay.
Okay.
She didn't dry it fast enough, and she was like, she legitimately got after it and started smashing them up, but she didn't let them dry, and they got real funky real fast.
Okay.
Continue.
All right. So let's
all of them.
talk about the
Take all of
chemical
them and run with
composition
it.
of acorns.
Okay.
So unlike most nuts, which are high in protein, like walnuts, cashews, peanuts, I guess peanuts are a legume, but most tree nuts, they're very high in protein. What's unusual about acorns is they're very high in starch, which is unusual for a nut. In fact, they have as much starch in them as wheat,
Oh, wow.
percentage-wise, weight-wise. The problem with acorns is they're also loaded with a chemical called tannic acid, which is very bitter. If you've just taken an acorn off a tree and tried eating it, you find your mouth dries up really quickly. It's very bitter flavor. That's because the tannic acid, it's very astringent. If you think about tanning leather, that came from tannic acid. It basically it dries out proteins, converts them into leather. You don't want to eat that. Luckily, tannic acid is very water soluble. And so early mankind all around the world, because oak trees are found all around the world, figured out if they take the acorns, crush them up, and put them in running water, it quickly leaches out the tannic acid. Kind of like making coffee, really. You're just the running water dissolves it. If you try and just roast them, it doesn't do anything to the tannic acid. If you just boil them, leaving them in the same pot of water, it's not going to do anything. You need running water to flush it away. There's a whole equilibrium type thing going on there, but you need running water to draw away that tannic acid. Now you can use just a regular coffee maker, Mr. Coffee, to leach it out. Just put the crushed acorn meat in the bin, run multiple pots of coffee, like you're making coffee through it, until either the water is no longer bitter or the nut meal is no longer bitter. At that point, you basically have little granules of starch, which if you roast, breaks some of the starch down into sugars and caramelizes some of the sugars. So the flavor is really, really good. So I recommend toasting it a little, just getting a big wok or a cast iron pan and just browning it a little. Don't use any oil. You just want the heat to roast it. At that point, then grind it into a flour. Mortar and pestle or, any sort of wheat grinder will do it. Then you're ready to make the flour, make the gravy. And then you just treat it like a regular flour. It is gluten-free, so you can't make the raised breads, but it's a good thickening agent. It's a good gravy maker. You can make the flatbreads. It's also good for fried breadings, like on fried fish or fried okra or fried chicken, things like that.
Oh, that'd be fun.
But yeah, the gravy and squirrel stew, that's good. That's good stuff.
But I had to go pay.
So Jesse's
Right there,
question
coffee
over
maker.
here. One of our viewers right now has a question for you.
Sure.
Could you suggest a new foraging target for each coming season? Something fairly easy to ID and
Sure.
process.
And
would be
I'll add more. I'll add more to that. Jesse is also here in, let's call it, North Texas, GFW.
Okay.
GFW extended area.
Just a shout out. Let's see. I'm actually going to be teaching up in Royce City, just east of Dallas,
all good.
August 1st and December 5th.
Calendar.
Put on the
December
calendar.
when?
On the calendar.
December 5th.
December 5th. That's the
Yeah,
weekend
so-
field trip. So
What else, Trip?
Yeah.
shut
So the upcoming classes are there on Foraging Texas.
up. Okay.
But yeah, so that's with Texas Survival School. I've been teaching with them for quite a few years. Okay, so plants to look for, like up in your area. Right now, so there is some greenbrier up there. I would be looking for purslane, which is a small succulent weed. You're just as likely to find it growing in the cracks of your sidewalk as you are out in fields. It's a very,
Can I interject and say, if you could pull this up and hit share screen right now
oh yeah.
for YouTube Live, that would be awesome, man.
All right. Let's see. Let's see. Share screen.
Technology, man.
Boom roasted.
You know what? I have a feeling that it is not going to. Let's see here.
If it not, that's fine. It's just an idea.
Yeah,
But
it's
I know Jesse's watching, a few other people, so as we talk about this, they could kind of see, because I don't know what this looks like. I guess we could do
Yeah.
that.
okay. Now unfortunately, I'd have to shut down. Oh, wait, let me see. No. Okay. Yeah, I'd have to change all the settings on my computer to do that. Sorry, guys. Okay, so what it looks like is an earthworm with thick
Right.
leaves. Let's see what's going on here. You're gonna. Okay.
He's trying to pull it up on
What's it
his.
called?
Okay. So purslane. So if you look on the left-hand side, there's 225 plants in alphabetical order. Scroll down to the P.
Or just go to his website. There
Yeah.
we go. Hold on, guys. We're pulling this up so we can be interactive.
So it's between purple sage and pyracantha. But yeah, this time of year it's getting pretty thick. The stem is going to be, well, okay, it's a low weed, creeps along the ground mainly. It might have a few stems that go up, but multi-branched, all coming from a taproot. So you'll have a single taproot growing into the soil and then different branches growing off it, some of them going upright, but most of them creeping along the ground. Oh, there we go. Yep. Okay, so then just over to purslane. Down. Farther. It's almost at the bottom of the screen. There we go. Whoop. Yep, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, there we go. Interactive.
Okay, so now you need to scroll up or move the page up so but on the website I have, the different information, including medical uses, but then here are pictures of the purslane. It's just this low weed, thick stem. If you snap the stem, it bleeds it bleeds clear. If you snap the stem and you get a milky white Sap, that is the toxic mimic spotted spurge. So the purslane should bleed clear. Loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, so it's great for your heart and your brain. You can eat it raw. It's really good mixed in with eggs, like a scrambled egg sort of thing. Very, very good there. The leaves are edible. The stems are edible. You can strip off the leaves and then pickle the stems. Use the Ball Book of Canning Preserving Pickled Okra recipe. And after they've been pickled, they basically look like earthworms. And so you basically have a jar of pickled earthworms. And if you're the type that really doesn't like going to potlucks, or you're okay with going to potlucks, but you don't want to cook for the potlucks, you show up with a jar of pickled earthworms and they will never ask you to make another thing at that potluck. So, a little bit of advice there. If you're dragged to a potluck, say, I got just the thing.
So the distribution map here looks
It's fairly
White
widespread.
North Texas. Or am I misreading this? Is white?
Okay, so the green is where it's positively been identified,
Mm-hmm.
but especially with purslane, it's such a common weed. It's more just that some government person didn't actually
Didn't pay attention.
exactly.
Sure.
I mean, if you scroll down a little more, you'll see the whole North American map below the Texas map. Because, not everyone is from Texas,
Sure.
and you can it's everywhere until you get up to the Arctic Circle, basically.
Far reaching there.
Yeah, including Hawaii, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, the whole works. So it's out there. It's a hot weather plant. It loves the hot, brutal sunlight. Like I said, it's more likely to find it growing up in the cracks of your sidewalk than out in a field somewhere.
Interesting.
What are
So-
some other sidewalk, backyard type plants you may find?
Okay, go to Lamb's Quarter. Lamb is in Lamb's Quarter. You have to scroll down. Oops. Yep, there. Okay. So this is another common summertime weed around here. It has multiple names. Goosefoot is a name. Pigweed is another name. This is another one that's a summertime weed that's from Mexico up, into Canada. Very, very, very nutritious, loaded with a bunch of vitamins and minerals. And if you scroll down right now, it's going to be in its mature stage, almost going to seed. I'm going to keep going. There's a particular picture. Okay, stop here where it says patch of land quarter, or this one too. The Lamb's Quarter has a very, very distinctive feature that makes it really easy to identify from all the other plants. And it's this little purple armpit rot that forms. It's actually it's not a rot, it's not a mildew, it's not a spoiling. It's just a natural coloring that the Lamb's Quarter does, where the branches meet the main stem, it has a purple color there. So I just tell people to look for the purple armpit rot, and that locks it in their brain as to what they're looking for.
That's awesome.
So very easy to find. It likes disturbed areas. If humans have been through there and churned it up in the last 50 years, there's a good chance these seeds are there just waiting to grow. And so then if it doesn't get mowed, it's there. It's all over. And if you scroll down, you can go look at the map.
And what would you do with this kind of a plant? What would be your
Okay. So this plant, it's a spinach substitute. You use the leaves. You do want to cook the leaves though. If you take a raw leaf, and again, the government map, I found it all over Texas. Like I said, that's why I tell people, use these maps as guidelines, but if you see the North American map, you'll see just how prevalent it actually is.
Yeah.
But the leaves, if you crush them raw and smell it, it smells very musky. I'm seeing how close my family is. The best way I've heard it described is it smells like a really good night in a bad house. So, but once you cook it, use it like saute it like spinach, put it in, wherever you would cook spinach. It's actually really good. It loses that flavor. And then the seeds, it's in the same family as the quinoa. I don't know if I'm even pronouncing it right, but one of those ancient grains that's really popular right now.
Quinoa?
Quinoa, yeah.
Yeah, quinoa. Yeah. So it's in the same family. So the seeds can be used just the same way,
So you need
but
seeds
very
too.
common, any sort of disturbed area, because these
So
are,
where pigs have been digging probably.
yeah, as long as it's sunny, cattle, construction machinery. I've seen it grow on the side of a car crash that happened a year before.
Oh, wow.
So that's a common one.
Okay.
Ooh, scroll down again to passion vine. So passion vine, that's another one that's really common. Yeah. So this is it's a vine that grows in sunny areas, has a very distinctive flower. Let's start with the flower because the flower is really cool. The flower is loaded with a chemical called gamma aminobutyric acid, also known as GABA, G-A-B-A. What's really cool about GABA is it is the hormone that tells your brain to make more serotonin. Serotonin is the chemical in the brain that's responsible for feeling good and relaxed. So if you eat the passion vine flower or make a tea from it, it increases the serotonin content in your brain.
Can you just eat it raw?
You can eat it raw, but the taste is a little funky. It's
Sure.
better to like brew a tea out of it. You might want to throw some of the honeysuckle sugar in there too, just to help with the flavor. The flavor, it's an acquired taste.
Flour first, or just could you
Pardon?
make it?
You can just do it raw because with flowers, a lot of the chemicals you want are on the surface of the flowers rather than trapped inside the cell walls.
Okay.
So now here's the thing. So I was talking about GABA. It is produced in the brain. There's a thing called the blood-brain barrier, which is a protective feature of the brain that keeps a lot of chemicals that can end up in your blood from passing into the brain. If you consume GABA, that GABA can't actually pass through the blood-brain barrier. Yet they've shown that if you consume the flower, the GABA concentration increases. This means there's something else in that flower that unlocks the blood-brain barrier, which has a whole bunch of potential scientific uses for all sorts of the therapeutics, getting medicine into the brain. There's a lot of medication that would be great if we could get it in the brain, but right now the only way to get it in the brain is through a syringe through the skull, into the brain itself.
Yeah.
But it's looking like the flower from this can unlock
that door. Yeah.
So that's cool. Then if you go down a little to the fruit, now I'm saying this because I've seen this in the Rice City where I've taught.
Yeah.
So the fruit there, when it's ripe, which is late summer, in this picture, it's a nice tight green looking thing. You actually want it to be starting to turn yellow and wrinkly on the vine. That's when the sugar content is going to be the highest. If you scroll down a little more, so it's starting to look like that. And what you find when you cut it in open is a bunch of seeds. Each seed has this goo around it. So you suck the goo from the seeds, you spit the seeds into a bowl, then you toast the seeds and eat them, and they're really good toasted. And then you have your spoon and you scrape that white pulp out from the inside of the rind of the passion vine fruit, also called a maypop. And that has a wonderful sweet tropical flavor, makes an excellent margarita. So something to keep in mind.
Wow.
Word.
Okay. So
Yeah.
about
So
how many of those would you need for a margarita?
For like if you were doing a pitcher, you would probably need 5 for the flavoring. So it would kind of, you would need some alcohol, but it basically replaces the triple sec.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So, okay. One last thing, if you scroll down just a little farther, the leaves. So it has this, if I can do it, kind of what we call a tripod or a trident shaped leaf. So a 3-lobed leaf. In the leaves is a strong sedative. So whereas the flowers help with the feeling of well-being and anti-anxiety, a tea made from the leaves will just put you to sleep.
So how would you dry the leaves? Like
In
put
the
them
case of the
hydrate?
leaves, yeah, you want to dry the leaves first. You do not want to dehydrate them. You want to just let them hang and air dry.
Okay.
For the same reason you like to hang meat. Well, in a lot anyway. So when you like hang, a pig or a deer for a while, the muscle fibers start to break down some, makes it more tender. In the case of the plants, remember, plants have a cell wall, and everything inside that cell wall is trapped in there. Everything outside can't get in there. So if you just take the green leaf and put it in hot water, nothing can get out from those cells. So you're not going to get any of the sedative effects or anything like that. But if you let it hang dry for about 2 weeks, there's an enzyme when the plant dies, when it realizes it's dead, it starts breaking down that cell wall, opening it up so that the nutrients in the cell can be returned to the soil, so to fertilize itself or its babies. Once the cell walls are open enough that all the water evaporates, then that reaction stops. So now you have the cell walls riddled with holes. So when you put it in the hot water now, there's all sorts of escape routes for the compound. So the flavor will be better and the medicinal properties will be stronger because those molecules can actually get out of the leaves through those holes that enzyme produced.
Okay.
So,
Makes sense. A couple of people on
Sure.
YouTube comments somebody said they found a purslane grown in an alley in Dallas, and it was amazing. Somebody said they found a passion vine last weekend, left it be because it was by itself. And then another person said, can you recommend any wild herbs or wild edibles that help aid in breast milk production? I believe wife's pregnant or they just had a kid.
Yeah, I don't know any off the top of my head. I know there are some out there. And actually, one of the things for the Medicine Man Plant Company that we were discussing, because it had come up, kind of talking to people, what would help. Actually a breast milk enhancer or volumizer. I don't know what the correct term would even be.
Yeah.
That was something that was recommended. And so I did look into it. And yeah, there are a number of herbs that will do that, but I don't recall any off the top of my head. And in particular, I don't know if there are any wild ones growing around in the Texas area. There is one called motherwort that is really common up north, like up in Minnesota, Wisconsin, New York, that area. But it does not grow here. So good question. I need to make a note of that.
Yeah. So kind of moving into the kind of any other, let me ask this, any kind of other summer-based or warm weather-based type plants that we should be kind of on the hunt or look out for?
Okay. Yeah, so up again at Royce City, ground cherry. So ground as in earth, ground cherry, if you bring that up, there's a lot of that out there. And that's really good. It's once you see it, it'll look like a tiny tomatillo. It's in the same family of as the tomatoes. But if you scroll down there.
Oh, 2 seconds getting situated.
Oh, cool. Okay.
He's changing. Yeah, the camera view, you're going to get a solid view now of
I don't
the
think
Grinch.
So scroll down farther. Scroll down at least one more picture, maybe two.
You can.
When we
We
talk,
wanna-
you can see it.
Yeah, we want to scroll down more because farther. I want to show the fruit in particular.
Yep.
Okay, so here we're starting to see the fruit here where it has these little heart-shaped balloons. Here we go. So here's the fruit. Now, if you peel that open, and there will be pictures of it peeled open. They're small. They're smaller than the average grape. I mean, they're like half an inch in diameter inside that husk, but they're really, really delicious. When they're green, they have a bit of toxicity, the same sort of toxicity that's found in green potatoes, the solanine. So you have to cook the green fruit, but you can make a really good salsa out of them. Then when the fruit is ripe, when the husk is turning brown, if you peel it open, it's a really strange, it's like a really, really, really sweet tomato. Like imagine sprinkling some sugar on a little cherry tomato.
Could you make like a jelly, or what would you?
Yeah, so it was actually used a lot as a replacement for cherries in cherry tarts, cherry pies, things of that sort. So hence the name ground cherry.
And that's found pretty much everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
Yeah.
And really, and what's nice about these is they'll start producing fruit in late spring, and then they will keep producing fruit and flowering and more fruit and more flowers up until a hard frost knocks them off. So it's my mom actually used to grow these in the garden.
I've
Oh, wow,
definitely
okay.
seen these.
Yeah, they were really, really. When I was a kid, I did not appreciate them because I was always eating them green and they were kind of sour and poisonous. I didn't realize you were supposed to wait until they were brown and the husk was brown.
If the husk is brown, you're good. And so when
Right.
should you make? Our buddy Jesse just commented and said, "Found ground cherries last year in tournament of salsa." So clarify, when would you wait until the husk was brown in tournament of salsa, or would you do salsa with green?
So salsa when they're green, but you want to do a cooked salsa.
Okay.
And then more of a dessert sweet sort of thing when they're here.
Jelly? Could you
This
make jelly?
ripe ground cherry fruit.
Jelly.
Jelly, I've never tried jelly. It'd probably be okay for jelly. It'd probably be like a sweet ketchup. You know, when you,
Okay.
Interesting.
you know, it might make an interesting base for barbecue sauce though.
Yeah.
No.
I'd be into that.
Yeah.
So taking the green ones, you said
Yes.
a cooked salsa. Could you? Cause so when I make salsa, I would put my tomatoes on a grill and blister them. Would you want to do the same with this, or would you want to cook it more than that?
I'm thinking you might want to cook it a little more than that. I think you need to cook it about 15 minutes to really get rid of the solanine.
Broke this. There we go. So you want to actually cook it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
say, like,
So like
take
a
it
simmer boil sort of thing. So you might be able to well, I was thinking maybe steam them in the husk for a while first and then mix them into the salsa. But usually I just almost like making a spaghetti sauce sort of salsa, cooked salsa with some wild onions and things like that. Drop them in there.
Ceviche, maybe. We just had somebody
Ooh.
comment and say a ceviche.
Ooh, like the lemon juice sort of thing.
I mean, you probably clearly have to use more of a. You use some more lemon juice, lime juice, some too.
Yeah, it might, but yeah, I don't think it would really work for that. For like the preserving the fish with the lemon
I mean,
juice,
maybe not even for the preserving factor,
but just the
flavoring
cooking.
additive factor.
I could see using it as a flavoring. I think you would definitely need, you know, lemon
Lemon or
juice or something to do
Yeah.
the cooking part. Even when they're ripe, there's still a fair amount of acid. It's a very unusual flavor, but really tasty.
I've
Like I
seen
said, it's a
it.
very sweet tomato sort of mixture. So,
Man, it's always just the best ever.
Yeah.
Like I learned.
I love so much.
Learned so much. And
okay. If you scroll up to balloon vine, that's another thing that's very common out there. And a lot of times I'll find them growing right next to each other. Where is balloon? Yep, there it is, balloon vine. And then we need to scroll down to the fruit. And you will see it produces these similar pods. But if you pop, that's the flower. If you pop open the pod, keep going.
see too.
Instead of a fruit, you get this black and white seed.
Okay.
So they're just rolling around. What you want from the balloon vine, you don't want to eat the fruit from this or the seeds. If I remember correctly, they have some medicinal uses. Oh, I don't have a Texas map on that.
Okay.
But here's a side by side. So the ground cherry is the upper one, and then the balloon vine is the lower. Yeah, there.
The balloon vine's more of a.
It's more of a triangular 3-pod,
And this has
more of a heart shape.
multi ribbed.
Yeah. So, and in this, it's just the vine tips that are used as like a cooked herb again, sort of thing. But the pod will have the 3 seeds in there.
What would you use this for?
So as a pot herb, a cooked herb, just to bulk up your food. So, and again, it's just the vine tips themselves.
Okay.
It's really more of a bulking thing to make you feel not so hungry. The nutritional value isn't very high, but
It's like Twinkie.
oh, lower than a Twinkie. So, like the wrap, the cardboard box that Twinkie came in.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
But food is food, and filling, the stomach is food. Yeah, it has some medicinal uses, especially for skin type things. So those are some of the things we'll see up there, like in August, and a bunch more. I've been teaching up there quite a bit in the spring and the fall, and I've blending plants together.
Yeah,
that I've
how does the class work? What does that look like, just as far as
Okay,
what
so
should we expect when we show up?
yeah, so we show up at their location. I spend like 20 minutes talking about the rules and ethics of foraging, because there are actually some specific rules in Texas about where you can and cannot harvest plants. And then the next 3.5 hours are spent walking around the property, looking at all the different plants, talking about the edible ones, the medicinal ones, the poisonous ones, ones that have, even plants of historical significance and so forth. Oh, I know one thing that's there is a toothache tree. If you scroll down to prickly ash, because that's a cool one, and mesquite, but yeah, prickly ash. Oop, too far. Yep, there it is. Okay, so once you see this, you might recognize it. So it has this very distinctive trunk covered with these thorns. So another name for this is Hercules club. Another name is tickle tongue. Another name is toothache tree, because in the berries, the leaves, and the bark, there's a naturally occurring novocaine. And so it was really common if you had a toothache, you would chew on a bit of the bark or the leaf and then pack it against the gum, wherever the bad tooth was. It would go numb, like you took a shot of novocaine, and then the person would yank the tooth out. But the other cool thing about these is these trees are found all over the world. And if we stop on the berries here, and right now is actually the prime time to gather these berries, because in the berries, there is that numbing agent. Like I said, these are found all over the world. There are a lot of them in China. If you're familiar with Szechuan sauce, or you might have heard of Szechuan peppercorns, it is the berries from this tree, where they take the berries, they crush them up, they mix them with the hot sauce, the hot pepper sauce. The numbing agent changes the flavor of that Szechuan, or the hot pepper, into Szechuanness, to give that unique Szechuan flavor, that unique Szechuan flair to foods.
So if
I like doing,
get a bunch of berries, you just let them dry.
No, you just so scroll up. So here, there, when they're green like that, you get them and you crush them up, and then you throw them in your jar of whatever hot sauce you like. So for your standard, small jar of hot sauce, probably go with just half a teaspoon mixed in with it. Let it soak there. Shake it once a day, and then after 2-3 weeks, go ahead and use that hot sauce, and you'll find a very different flavor to it. You can adjust the berries, because you may have to play around with how much berries to mix with it to get the perfect mix. So it's good to be able to dilute it some if you can. I like to kind of over treat it and then dilute it back to a flavor that's good.
Bring it in.
So you can kind of make an East meets West sort of fusion sort of sauce.
I love that.
Man, that's awesome.
Heck yeah.
Well, man, I can't tell you how much we appreciate you joining us tonight. And we're looking forward to, as we move into maybe a little bit closer to the fall and the winter, maybe getting you back on and having you talk about those kind of specific plants that are going on. So,
Okay.
man, we cannot thank you enough. I think you're going to have a couple of guests at your class
Cool.
that are sitting right here. 'Cause
Yeah, for
we're
sure,
super
yeah.
excited about kind of having somebody show us, because that's, I mean,
I
it's,
think they went on calendars already.
it's yeah,
Well,
it's,
yeah,
it's
it
there,
should be
right?
on the calendar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're
And either
super
date
excited
is a
about it.
good date. There's the plants change about every 3-4 months. So, well, maybe not completely, but like half the plants will change every 3 or 4 months.
Heck yeah.
Well,
And there's a link to my book.
yeah,
Yep,
please.
Absolutely. That's why I left it up
Yeah,
there.
check it
And I
out.
could leave the
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Is share with everyone, this,
Absolutely.
this.
So just a funny story about this. It's funny to me. For this book came out in 2014 or 2016. I don't even remember now. And on Amazon, they always had it between $11 and $14. The manufacturer recommended price is $21 and change. When COVID hit, all the foraging books sold out.
Funny how
I'm in contact with a bunch of other foraging instructors, and they said, yeah, the demand for classes and their books have just completely sold out. And so Amazon increased the price of all the foraging books.
Amazon's been up to some crazy stuff here.
They know what's going on. Yeah. So, I mean, and then with, all the, in the
Really, I
news,
don't
all the
wanna get
things
into
about
that
the
on this
food shortages and all that. So, yeah.
It's amazing how when all of a sudden you can't get something at the grocery store, everybody goes, maybe I should know how to get this myself.
Yep.
So,
Mhm.
Mhm.
that's why I can't wait to take a class. Royce City is literally 10 minutes from my house. So I'm
Cool.
that you will be there, and maybe while you're in town, we could do a face-to-face
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So
that.
usually the class starts at 9 in the morning, goes until 1 in the afternoon. And then I drive back to Houston after driving there early in the morning. Actually, usually I run up to Plano, Texas. There's a ham radio shop up there that I like, but I don't have any money right now, so I probably shouldn't go there.
I may be able to just twist your arm into just staying over at my house, because I live in Rowlett, which is right there.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're more than welcome to
Aw.
come stay at my house if you don't mind 3 giant dogs who
Chasing
think
house
they're
guests.
little bitty
Fortune challenge.
Not a problem.
I can't stand these people that I have to share this podcast with. They're the biggest jerks ever. Ugh.
Chasing Zoom call.
Well, we thank you so much. Thank you very much. You'll see us post a link to the class, to the book as well, through our social media and
Absolutely.
in the show notes that will go out when this, I don't know, maybe when this podcast goes out, but it's going to be definitely in the YouTube notes here very quickly. And for those of you who are watching right now, just click on over to
Just check it out, man.
Foraging Texas.
Click on the dang
Texas,
thing, man.
Scroll down,
Yeah,
click
check
on
it
it, buy it through him.
Buy the book,
I can
man.
say when
And if I can throw this out there, self-promotion, there's the Foraging Texas, well, the Facebook /Foraging Texas, where every day I post a plant. Every morning from 7:30 to 8 a.m., I have a live half-hour show, the Donut Shop at the Beginning of the World, where we talk about plant stuff. And then on Wednesday evenings, I have Merriweather's World, which is an hour-long show where we talk about plants and all sorts of stuff. This coming week, a professor of mine, he wrote the book, The Not Dead Undead, a biology professor's guide to zombies, basically. And so he's my link into the prepper world, if you will. And so we'll be talking about different books that we've read that we've always liked that go into like quasi-fictional accounts like bushcraft or survival, like Hatchet and Swiss Family Robinson.
book.
things
Hatchet
like
is
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
we had a Stormwater Creek book club. We started at the beginning of this year, and then
Oh.
COVID hit, and we.
Oh man, you got to send me a link to that.
and then-
I want to see what books you're reading.
That's when you guys should have really.
I
kicked it
read
into
all
high
the
gear.
Hatchet books.
That's
The
when you
River,
kicked
all-
it into
all
high
of
gear.
them.
Brian's Winter.
And we
Quarantine book
also
club.
read Empire of the Summer Moon,
Yeah, we read
which
Empire
is really good. If you have not checked that out,
No, I have to check that out.
that is a history of the Comanches.
And
Ooh, that
And
would be good.
basically, yeah, North Texas. essentially.
Savage.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, Savage does do
Rabbit hole.
justice.
It is
But
rabbit
we're,
hole,
you know,
rabbit
we're,
hole.
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
touching on.
I was gonna throw out. Look up Captured.
Okay.
Yep.
Captured.
Captured.
It's stories of the different people who were captured by Native Americans and then eventually freed and what happened to them.
I'm
It's
all
it's
about
great.
that. That's a huge wormhole for me to go down.
Yeah. So there's a lot of what we know about the Native Americans came from those people. So
Yeah.
it's a really good look into the day-to-day lives.
For sure.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah,
Man, we super appreciate this.
No doubt.
As always, let's get on the books again soon here in a month or two when we roll into the fall. Like
Yeah.
I can fairly confidently speak for all of us and say we wouldn't enjoy it.
The class
anymore.
too.
Like, oh my God. I can be pretty confident in saying I'll be at the class. Abe probably will. You know, I
Cool.
can't speak for these two. George
Let's
Mutes,
do it.
Jordan has kids. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. I wear
The
my
more
hat
the
full.
merrier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, well, we thank you very much, Mark, and
My
thank you so
pleasure.
much for jumping on here, and we look forward to some future podcasts very soon as the calendar kind of ticks off. So,
Oh, man.
thank
Hey,
you so
congratulations on 100. That's amazing.
We made it somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
somehow.
Thank you
just
so much, Mark.
Hey, my
running
pleasure.
up the wall. So, thanks, buddy.
man.
Okay. I'm
Talk to you
gonna, let's see.
Always, it's just
Zoom
like
calls.
Zoom calls are the greatest. So, well, 100 episodes, boys.
We did it.
That was it.
Did
We
it.
did it.
We did it.
We did it.
100's
We
in the
did
books.
it.
Boom.
We did it.
Yay.
Boom, we did
This
it.
is like episode 15 for me. I did it.
Well, it takes a village, So, we need to touch on a couple things before we sign off. For those of you who have stuck with us through the 3+ hours,
This has been super fun.
yeah, I've had a great time doing this. We will
We're
expect
just spitballing.
more of this
pretty
to come
much.
out pretty soon.
I'm hungry.
Some more YouTube live
Yeah.
podcasts coming up. But for
That
sure,
was not cut
you
very
guys
well.
need to make sure that you go out and you like the Rio Ammo
Yeah.
Instagram page, that you like, and what did we say? Tag a friend in a
No,
no.
no,
No,
that's
tag
okay.
it.
Italian friends.
Yeah.
So here's
go
what we're
ahead.
doing. You got to follow Stormwater Creek. You follow Rio Ammo, and that's
we're
it.
We're going to make a post tonight or tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow.
The next post you see on the Stormwater Creek Instagram will be in relation to the 1-case steel shell Rio Ammo giveaway. You will
Mhm.
share that. You will follow Stormwater Creek. You will
Yep.
follow Rio Ammo. Big bonus. Go follow our YouTube. Subscribe
Yeah.
to that. We know there's not a lot of content. This is content that's going up there. There's a whole bunch of things to follow. We've got hunts already planned for this fall, be it sandhill crane, be it duck hunts, be it maybe some
We're legit now. We
Yeah.
have a cameraman.
maybe with some stuff with Dr. Duck. We're
Shout out
hoping. I
Stephen
can't
Baker.
Say that.
Shout out, dog.
We've got a cameraman now.
I think he
Like
prefers-
there is going to be a lot of YouTube content. It would be beneficial to you to go like and subscribe now.
There will be
So
things that are
when it
on the
hap-
YouTube that
yeah,
won't,
when
won't
it-
be on Instagram.
When it
yeah.
happens, you will have access to it. So that's just bonus content that you should go
100%.
want to have. But giveaway, follow Stormwater Creek, follow Rio Ammo, share the post. The next post we make will clarify this again. Share that post.
Yeah. So basically, what we want you guys to do is just look at the next post, and that'll have the instructions. I don't know if anything we've said has been coherent
We're into
about
3
this.
hours.
So check out the Instagram post for instructions. We're gonna give away a full case of Rio Ammo. It's gonna be awesome.
Thanks,
100
Rio.
episodes, kids.
100,
Mhm.
baby. The next 100 will come even easier.
That is what is up. Y'all keep it tight. Stay safe.
Hold on. No, we got a
Oh.
song. We got
Oh, this
an
is a
intro.
different song. Yeah, I don't do outros anymore.
No.
This is it.
Well, this is a little 100 episode treat for you guys. Oh, of course. Check your connection.
Stormwater Creek is the best. Grinch, Captain, Abe, the helper, Jordan, the problem solver. I hope you like Stormwater Creek. Stormwater Creek.
Yeah.
I can't do the music now. That's it.
That's
I'm
it. That's
done.
it. That's how it ends.
All right.
Guys.
Peace out, guys.
Shut- Shutting
100.
it down.
Thanks, boys. Thanks, girls.
Bye. Bye. Bye.